Nothing in life is more certain than death and taxes. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles, the Alec Trevelyan of podcasters, misunderstood and doing it all for king and country. Not joining me today. Somehow she returned. It's Candy.
Yeah, I'm back. I filed a complaint with HR. Apparently you can't fire me for not liking chips.
Mm-hmm.
But, massive thank you to Planty, by the way, for jumping in my grave so quickly.
You have to pay him now. You said his name. Thank you.
That's right.
Also, long live the king. It's Stig.
Oh, the king is very much dead today.
In the end, it was beauty that killed the beast. It's Biggie.
Hey.
And would you kindly beat the living shit out of me with this golf club, please? Gadget.
Gladly. Give me a second. I'll go get me 5-iron.
Before we get into the show, here's the rundown. We have the Nexus, and what new little gizmo do I have to review? Ooh, what could it be? What nerdy film has Gadget been watching? What could it be? Then we have the main topic in which we discuss memorable deaths within media. Then into the patron-only green room. But before all that, it's time for Biggie's breaking news. Yeah.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's breaking news.
We are the knights who say news.
Not having that. Not having that. Not having none of this. Not tonight. This is a new month. It's death and taxes. You can't be naughty.
Moving swiftly on. E3's dead, baby. Yeah, E3's owner.
Perfect timing for death and taxes month.
Yeah.
Has now issued a joint statement with E3 2023 organizer Repop confirming the cancellation of this year's event. This was a difficult decision because of all the effort we and our partners put toward making this event happen. But we had to do what's right for the industry and what's right for E3. Well, basically everyone pulled out, didn't they?
I was going to say there wouldn't be any fucker there.
That's what she
No
said.
one there. That's the problem, yeah.
I think when Ubisoft say they're not going, it's just like, oh shit, there is actually nothing to show.
Yeah, it just kept
I know.
going. Oh,
Ubisoft wanted to
Nintendo
go
aren't
to the
going.
biggest
Microsoft
ceremony that
aren't
we
going.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sony aren't doing
Go
it.
anywhere.
It's like, okay, who's
No
going to
one's
be
doing
left?
it.
No one.
I think
that's got to be it, isn't it? Forever.
I think the big developers have realised it's much cheaper to put on their own live stream shows rather than paying the fees to be at the E3 conference.
I know everyone's like crying about it and stuff, but is it really that much of a problem if we're still going to get all these reveals anyway? I know
It'll make no
the
difference
spectacle
whatsoever to us.
the spectacle were fun, and it's a shame that event doesn't exist and people have lost jobs clearly. But to us, as just spectators,
I think
we're still going to get what we need.
I think the difference is, though, E3 is like a festival. So it's...
It was all at the same time as well.
Everyone came
weird.
together for those 3 days or so, and it was like it's like a little festival of games. I think that's like the sad part. Me personally, I never watched a single E3. Never been asked with it. I just watched the trailers and the announcements the day after.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
So
exactly.
for me, I'm not really that bothered, but it is a shame overall. For
I
like,
mean, we still have Jeff Fest. 2 weeks of Jeff.
oh, I mean, he was straight in there, wasn't he? Literally,
Brutal.
as soon as it's like he goes, oh, E3 was like I met so and so at E3 and everything. But remember, we still have Summer Games Con or whatever it is. It's just like Jesus, mate.
He orchestrated
Body's
this
not
whole
even
thing.
cold yet.
Well, he used to work for E3, didn't he? He left it to start Summer Games Fest.
Not so long ago as well. I think it was the year before last, was it? I think
He went for
2019
G4
was the last one
originally.
he did.
He was a presenter on G4, wasn't he, for a long time?
Yeah, he's one of those people that's just been around.
I remember G4 somehow appeared on our tellies back in like the early 90s, you know, when anyone could afford Sky. I know. Imagine it. But yeah, we had Sky, and it was on one of the random G4. I think it was American. And it was just
it was very American.
Yeah, it was on the verge of when like Gears of War were coming out, and it was just Jeff Keighley with his spiky hair. Saying, this is going to be the great new hotness. You weren't wrong.
I think it's more exciting and interesting seeing all the more awkward own presentations that they do because they're so weird. Some of them are just awkwardness on stage is just far more entertaining.
We'll never get a Wii Music again.
True. Remember that weird Take-Two one that came out last year, which was more like an investor call than anything, but it was just after all the controversy with them.
Yeah.
Like they actually had nothing to announce.
I like a nice, simple direct. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Easy in it. Log on,
agree.
watch it, log off.
It's safer.
Yeah.
I do like a bit of spectacle, though. I do like a bit of a studio show, too. Not just trailers in a row.
I don't want to be watching a direct and then Ubisoft dancers come on for 15 minutes about let's just dance 97.
Oh, see, I live for that bit. I love it.
No, I don't.
The worse, the better for me.
I think what we can categorically say, though, seeing as the last E3 was 2019, is that Candy killed E3.
It's true, I'm afraid.
Yeah, she was
me
there.
And Jeff. Me and Jeff.
I'd more call her a crusader because she's pushed on what the modern iteration of directs can be. She's a pioneer.
Well,
people will view me differently in history.
If you don't, if you've forgotten that obviously Candy Fest with Elon Musk and those 100 Dorito eaters, it's going to be
there were slides and stuff, weren't there?
Hit.
And a Todd Howard kissogram.
Yep.
Kissing
and
booth,
like zip lines as well, weren't there?
Mm-hmm. Me and Jeff have been working on it behind
Musk
the scenes.
is paying for it, but he's not allowed to
Jeff,
go.
They call him now. Never trust a Canadian.
Next.
An analyst group claims that the PSVR 2 is already struggling and that Sony's only option is to try and reduce its price. Sony hasn't offered any sales figures yet, but according to research firm IDC, they've only sold around 270,000 headsets so far. It's not looking good.
If only any person on this podcast had mentioned that this is not going to sell. God.
Cost of living crisis. Hey, let's get this ancillary thing with 10 games out that costs more than the console it works with.
Yeah. If only we could have predicted this. Never mind. We live and learn.
Especially
the IDC analyst Francisco Geronimo, great name, has said that I suspect a price cut on the PSVR 2 will be needed to avoid a complete disaster of their new product.
And
Sony hasn't announced anything.
Nip it in bud. Nip it in bud now. Done. Just nip it. Nip it in bud.
But they've really not pushed it either, have they? Sony, they've got adverts and stuff, but they've not got anything exciting.
How dare you? It's got its own category on the PSN store. How dare you? They have pushed it.
Ozzy Osbourne is on the trailers.
Ozzy Osbourne is on the trailer, fighting a big, like, Horizon dinosaur.
Definitely playing it. 100% definitely playing.
He has got no clue what he's talking about, does he?
They just said, put this on.
Put this on and shout.
Oh no, he's Scottish now, apparently.
I can't wait.
Where did that come from? Can you have more Ozzy Muck Osbourne, please?
Next, fucking boring PlayStation VR. Get an Oculus, man. Way better.
They are.
Well, Sony's had a few other issues because The Last of Us Part 1 has launched on PC in a bit of a state. And owners are now turning its glitches into memes. And if you've been all over the internet this week, you would have seen a lot of eyebrows.
I'm not saying out about it.
You've been laughing your arse off all fucking week.
No comment. No comment. You have to speak to my lawyer. I've had a cease and desist.
I mean, to be fair, it has been incredibly funny watching some of these glitches.
I love the glitches.
Like Joel appearing with barely any skin on his face and just black blotches for eyebrows, or Ellie looking like she's got dreads because the hair physics hasn't applied properly.
I think it's the best way to play it.
Shining glittery lights to make it look like fucking dead cells.
Apart, and
that twisted Ellie one was all. That was amazing. That
Joel gets a bit racist.
Yeah.
He went. It's one where someone he looks like he's got blackface on.
Yeah,
it does.
That.
It does.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It does.
Yeah.
Here's a little list of the issues.
Oh yeah.
Loading shaders takes longer than expected. Performance and stability is degraded while shaders are loading in the background. Older graphics drivers lead to instability and/or graphical problems. Game may be unable to boot despite meeting the minimum system requirements. A potential memory leak. Mouse and camera jitters for some players, depending on hardware and display settings. And Naughty Dog are looking into patches.
Isn't the team who did this the same one that did Arkham Knight?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
That was
think
well chosen,
anyone's going
wasn't
to employ them to do these anymore.
Well, especially when Sony owned Nixes, who they bought specifically to do PC ports.
Did the Spider-Man one, didn't they? And it was fine.
They did Nixes did that, and
in fact,
I think they did Horizon. I think they did Horizon as well, which launched a little bit wonky, but like within a week it was fine. The daft thing with this one is so the Steam refund policy is 2 hours. If you've played the game for less than 2 hours, you can get a refund. When you get to the main menu the first time, it wants to load the shaders to basically get all that ready to go.
2 hours.
It takes more than 2 hours on a lot of machines. Yeah. So
like that.
You can't play it.
You can fight that a little bit if you've got just cause for it.
Yeah.
Like I once had a game that ran in the background. I bought it. It's like, this isn't for me after like 20 minutes. And for some reason it didn't shut down and it ran in the background. It's like you played it for 4.5 hours. It's like I haven't at all.
I know you can dispute it. I've disputed them before.
And you gave me it back in the end.
Yeah.
But I think with all the known issues, if you did want to get a refund on The Last of Us,
I'm
pretty sure they know the issues. And yeah, okay.
It's absolutely ridiculous that they can launch it in such a shit state. And obviously they've done it to try and capitalize on the interest around the TV series. But we should be so far beyond, especially from a AAA studio like Naughty Dog, even if bits were handled by Iron, whatever they're called.
It's fucking raw.
It is fucking raw. It needs another 6 months in the oven to make that work.
As much as you could joke about it, it shouldn't be allowed.
This is the harm of gaming.
Yeah,
I have enjoyed
harmed.
Greg Miller's little cheeky poke at the PC players. I think Oodles posted one of them up in the Discord.
I like how people if you read the comments on those videos, people think he's being serious. That's what's funny. He is not fucking serious.
Trolling for attention.
Yeah, he's
and it's worked.
Serious. In the background of one of his videos, he's literally got Vampire Survivors playing on a PC. Do you know what I mean? He likes it. He's just joking.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Next, bored of it already.
Hideo Kojima has partnered with a luxury London designer to create a unisex line of Death Stranding-inspired clothing. The range includes tracksuits, shirts, a bucket hat, a bomber jacket, and a silk tux jacket for you, Oodles, with prices starting from £65 for the hat and creeping all the way up to £1,050 for the silk jackets. The shirts are currently retailing for about £150 and the tracksuit jackets for £245.
I'd have to get a new wardrobe, that's the problem.
So you can't
I'll find one in it. 90% of my wardrobe and my costume cupboard is from charity shops, so if I find one in a charity shop, it's getting bought. I love charity shop dumpster diving. It's so fucking good. So good. They throw away all sorts of great, frilly shirts that men aren't supposed to wear.
You just live your life like a camp pirate, don't you?
Yeah. It's fucking fantastic.
Fucking Guybrush Threepwood walking around fucking West Yorkshire.
I've literally got a purple denim jacket on. I didn't even realise I've got a purple denim jacket on. I am just the living end.
So is this clothing line, is it going to be UK only? Because I know he's partnered with a couple of people in Japan. Like, the merch line is quite expensive there as well. Like, I know he's got designer watches and everything. We're talking a couple of grand.
He had the JF Rays as well, didn't he? The glasses, which is a British brand.
That's right, yeah.
And they're fucking very good. Have you seen frames in Specsavers? Them JF Rays, they're fucking £2,000.
Oh, suddenly I've gone short-sighted.
I was looking at them. I tried them on.
Specsavers, Super Natty Cat works there. Maybe she can hook us up.
Yeah, maybe she can.
It's Gresham Blake, the designer. Honestly, I don't get them. I think they're a little bit ugly.
Yeah, it's a weird concept game, though, isn't it? If you think about it.
No, but
it's in the future.
Well, yeah, but like the clues, like the designs that they've made,
it's supposed to be modern,
don't look like anything to do with the game. It's like a load of like kind of luggage stickers related to Death Stranding across a jumper.
Yeah.
Right.
The black silk jacket looks nice. I think it's the one that Kojima was wearing last time he was at an award show.
Oh, that was so nice. The inlays on that. Oh,
yeah.
Let's not talk about clothes because fucking I could be here all day.
They do them up to 3XL though. That's nice.
Sadly, a bit of sad news. Lily Gao, I think is the way you pronounce it. The new voice of Ada Wong in Resident Evil 4's remake has basically effectively shut down her Instagram account following a string of hateful comments from so-called, quote, fans.
We call them neckbeards.
This is why they are the worst of the worst, and we voted toxic fans the worst out of the fire.
Yes.
Because toxic fans are fucking... trying to say the word
thing is,
less,
right,
but you know
the thing
what I
is,
mean.
that character in that game
Awful.
is voiced fantastically.
Yeah, she has a great performance.
And the RE engine can make any like real model, like mocap person look exactly like they do in real life. She looks stunning. You know what I mean? What are you moaning about? What do you want?
I did see someone post on Reddit earlier that neckbeard modders have already started putting out mods to adjust the character models for Ada and Ashley. Like putting Ashley back in a skirt and making Ada's face
look 14 again.
Quote unquote beautiful, which looks like a very attractive
they also
Asian woman
downgraded downgraded a bus size in Resident Evil 4 and they're fuming about that. Like, fuck off. Just fuck off.
They are the worst.
All of you.
It's a shame because Lily Gao did a really, really good job as Ada.
Fantastic.
Blaming her for, quotes, ruining the game. I mean, seriously.
How are they ruining the game? She's only in it for half of it.
But when she's in it, she steals the scene. She's got such charisma.
I'm looking at an original versus remake. There's barely any fucking difference, hardly.
No, she just looks like...
she's got more Asian eyes in this new one, mate. She's more Asian. Ada Wong is more Asian.
I think the difference is when you go from the 2005 version to the 2023 version, she looks like a human being.
Oh yeah, there is that.
As opposed to, in those days, like everything was still slightly cartoonified because just the way graphics engines were, everyone had slightly exaggerated eyes and facial features and stuff like that. Now you can do photorealism. Like no one's complaining that they changed Leon Kennedy's look between 2 and 4 remake.
Someone was moaning that his jawline's not sharp enough because he's got a bit of a jowl coming. I'm like, he's older. He's fucking older. he's rocking into his 40s by this point.
He's gone blonde in this one. No more of the mousy brown.
Come on. This is just what happens to humans. Some men age a lot better than others. I mean, prime example.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But it's just, I just don't get. Play the fucking game. You see back of people's heads for like 95% of it anyway. Shut up. I fucking hate them.
So weird. You should see some of the fucking mods for the PC though.
I've already seen some mods where it's just massive arses.
Yeah. Massive arses, massive tits.
Thomas the Tank Engine and Barney the Dinosaur.
I've also seen the Leon crotch enhancer mod, where it's just got the biggest dong ever.
There's one here that she's got hot armor mod, and she's just wearing nothing but this like PVC like bikini. Yeah. Like, modders.
Hope Mr.
Weird.
Blobby makes it in there.
I do.
Oh, shirtless
Some
Leon.
representation from the Blobby. Shirtless Leon. All right.
How is it that this game's been out a week? There's already 14 pages of mods on Nexus Mods.
They started on the demo, didn't they? They started on the demo, apparently.
I mean, I'm fully into the Leon Kennedy tramp stamp mod.
Has he got a tramp stamp?
Fucking halter top and like some little angel wings on his lower back.
I'm into that. Big style. Oh, God, he's such a fanboy, isn't he? Bless him. I love him. Next.
Film and TV world. Liv Tyler is returning as Betty Ross for Captain America: New World Order.
Oh.
That was a weird one because she hasn't made any appearances throughout the whole of the MCU.
Has it been 29 films or something like that since her last arrival? But
they didn't do any. There's never been a Hulk film, has there, since then? And they tried to obviously do that weird Natasha and Bruce, like love interest
romance
instead,
that nobody liked,
and there hasn't really
makes sense. That's why
I don't think there's been an opportunity to put her in anything. Really, has there that's had Bruce Banner around, so makes sense.
I'm sure she'll be fine. It's hardly newsworthy, but I'll allow it.
You could say the same about the next one. Star Trek Lower Decks has been renewed for season 5 at Paramount Plus.
Great.
That is newsworthy.
People like that.
Yeah.
People like that.
Fantastic
I like what
news.
I've seen.
Lower Decks is
There
hilarious.
you go then.
Next.
Chris Pine has come out and said that the D&D game should be played in classrooms. This idea that it's like geeky or nerdy or whatever, the gospel of Dungeons and Dragons that I think is so important to know, why I think it should be played in schools, is that it immediately teaches cooperation, it exercises the imagination, it's joyous and improvisational. No idea what he's talking
I
about.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It's also
absolutely.
very inclusive because it's full of players, mixed
Anything.
races, mixed like genders and everything. You can play
Way
play as
before its
anything.
time as well, wasn't it?
You can play as whatever you want.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's that's better than, I don't know, all the shite that the spew at schools nowadays. Anyway, at least it's got social aspects to it. It's got community aspects to it. It's fun in small quantities. It's a hobby that's not going to hurt anyone.
No.
It's yeah. Why not? Why not?
It also helps you engage with people in ways that you would never have thought of.
And people can get jobs in it.
And it teaches
So-
maths and writing as well.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, and people learn languages and all sorts of things attached to it. And storytelling's massive. People forget the importance of storytelling. So yeah.
And if anyone's listening out there, we are looking for a writer for our D&D podcast. If anyone can write in and let us know.
Oh, that's
such venom to that.
You know,
isn't it?
you say that right before the week before we record our next
He knows I'm
episode.
joking.
And you
and
that's
you know
gonna bite
Calble's
you in
gonna
the
die.
ass.
Gadget's eyebrows
We
cocked
do-
and ready.
We do need a funeral. We had a funeral, yeah.
Listen to Do Dragon's Dream of Scott Sheep.
I've tried.
You have tried.
And that,
You're
I
fucking
tried as
Errol
well.
Flynn maneuver.
Next. Anime show based around the Edgar Wright film Scott Pilgrim was announced. And the entire cast is returning.
It's great, that. That's
Great.
mental.
Mm.
Yeah. I really like Scott Pilgrim. I know
Yeah, it's a
I
really
do.
good film.
Yeah, it seems to be. I don't know.
As
it seems to get a bit of a
adaptations
kick into
go,
it, but I
it's-
think it's really good.
It got a bit of a kick in because they don't look like the comics. Like, it's a fucking little anime manga thing. Do you know what I mean? No
I
one
don't
looks like
think
that.
it was like that. Just critics just seemed to get it.
I liked it. I think it was a bit of a cult.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It definitely sold the idea of like I think it's one of the better ways of adapting a comic book into a film because they made it feel like a comic book throughout.
Yeah.
Had all the little cutaways and like text appearing on the screen and shit like that.
It holds up really well. I watched it about half a year ago. It holds up really well. Music's obviously fantastic in it.
Definitely one of the best
And-
things that Michael Cera's done.
It's not many.
Yeah.
He's
He's not done anything in ages, has he?
No.
grown a shit mustache.
I kind of like it.
He looks like a serial killer, man.
I'm thinking of just doing that Pedro Pascal mustache thing very soon. Just walking around with a mustache. I swear I'm not a nonce. Like that. All day, every day.
So what else is new?
Speaking of which, in an interview with Total Film, Vin Diesel teased that Brian
How
could
did you
appear
get a
in some
segue
way
from that?
in the Fast and Furious finale. And he said, that
Finale,
moment in
how dare you.
2013, when the world was struggling with loss, the studio made a very bold and righteous and daring decision to keep Brian O'Connor alive, Diesel said. I will give you this without spoiling anything. I couldn't imagine this saga ending without truly saying goodbye to Brian O'Connor.
Oh, they're going to do the thing they did for Fast 7 again, aren't they? They're just going to get his brothers in and just...
It's been a long night.
P. Diddy will do some
without you,
video
my
for it or
friend.
something.
Oh, nah.
They could have. They
I'm
should
going to
have.
learn that on piano for you, Gadget, and sing it to you.
They should
Well,
have
you know.
just killed the character off. Like other films have done it when actors
In a
have
car
died.
crash.
Like
They've been brave.
no,
they
just-
should just
they
ended
should have
the
had-
series.
well, yeah, they should have ended the series. It's like it's actually not just no.
Like at 7, I mean. Like, 'cause seven
Seven
was
is
a-
like that ending is like kind of it's a nice ending. Like there's no more story really to be told. Like as evident from everything that's happened since.
Mhm.
So it would have been a good, and it's a good ending them too. And like obviously because Paul Walker died, you shouldn't really do anymore. But because they did it, what's a good way to bring the team and everything back together? Oh, somebody's killed Brian.
Yeah.
Like and it makes sense. It does not make any sense why all this shit is happening, and Brian's just stuck at home with the kids.
Yeah.
After all the stuff that he's been through with them.
I mean,
it makes no fucking
was,
sense.
It was a plot point in the 7th film that he was bored of being a dad, and he was sick of not being shot at. He missed being shot at. I hate that film so fucking.
9 they kind of just get away with it in a way, but not so much. But yeah, you should have just.
I did see the trailer for 10 this weekend, and I was very annoyed by it.
I can't spoil it when the aliens come down and stuff.
No, I can't go and see it at the cinema because I will be shouting in the cinema. I've decided I absolutely cannot go and see that in the cinema.
You have to pay for you to go. Yeah. The thing is about you'll have to watch 9 before we can talk about John Cena's character in 10, because that also makes fuck all sense.
Isn't he the bad guy in 9?
The guy commits like war crimes in 9, and then all of a sudden, like it looks like in 10 he's just like part of the team.
Hey, look, they did that in Walking Dead. Negan killed all the friends and family, but by the end he was the hero.
Sake.
It can be done. It can be done.
Terrible writing in that. Terrible writing in Fast and Furious.
Hello, next.
He doesn't talk until you say next. It's like Ron Burgundy. You've got a G.
How long have we had this section in this podcast? It's got to be coming on 6 months
Before
now.
I go ahead, you get upset if you don't say next. So I was just waiting.
I did say it though. That's the fucked up thing, mate.
It didn't come through. Anyway, Stephen King's It star Bill Skarsgård has confirmed he won't be back as Pennywise for the up-and-coming prequel series Welcome to Derry. That's a bit sad, isn't it? Because I quite like him in that.
There's a prequel to
Yeah?
It.
Yeah, it's going to be about because the character returns every 11
years
years or whatever it is. So yeah, it's just going to be before that story, but it looks like the creature's not going to be Pennywise. It's going to, because it does take different forms, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kids love Pennywise, though. Don't know if it can work.
Yeah, exactly. Pennywise is the draw. Like that's the draw of the film, Pennywise. So it's not. It's a story about it in Derry. It's like no, people want to see Pennywise.
Yeah.
So just either they're going to recast him or just not have a Pennywise. Which I've said Pennywise way too much.
I might read it to my son before bed every night. See how he gets on with that. Cosmic horror before bed. Why not?
Yeah, underage orgies.
I was going to say you're going to keep the 13-year-olds having an orgy at the end.
Well,
no.
Are you ready for some sex education?
Yeah, got to remember when Stephen King wrote that there was so much cocaine.
So much.
So much.
It still is apparently with his new books. Christ, that man's back on gear. He's done a new one about a fucking train that comes up. Do you know, like Christine?
I was saying he's already done a car.
Yeah, but a train. This is what makes me think.
Fog.
He's back on the gear.
But he did do an entire
one with like a mobile scooter or
something.
something.
He did do a horror novel entirely about fog.
Yeah, I know, but if there's a scary ghost monster train chasing you, do you know what you do? You step to right because you're off at tracks.
I don't know. Have you seen that game Choo Choo Charles?
No. What the fuck's Choo Choo Charles?
It's a fucking horror train chasing you with like spiders' legs coming off it.
Oh, so you can get off the track
and get off the tracks.
No,
but you've got to fix your train to get away from him, and you can't get off the tracks.
Fuck that, mate. Fuck that.
It looks mad as fuck.
Oh no, thank you. Next.
Finally, over to the Weird World Web. Thanks to Gadget for bringing this one to my attention. Afro Man is facing a lawsuit from 7 law enforcement officers over him using footage from a police raid of his home in one of his music videos. The officers have alleged that the rapper, I love the real names for rappers, Joseph Foreman, took recordings of their faces, and they were obtained from a raid which took place in Ohio in August 22, and he used them in a music video and social media posts without their consent. They've claimed all 7 of them are seeking all of Foreman's profits from use of their images, including revenue from songs, music, video, movies, and concert tickets, on top of the promotion of his Afro Man brand and merch proceeds. They've also said, where is it? I lost it. He's also responded by saying he intends to countersue for the unlawful raid and money being stolen, as well as the damage caused to his family, career, and property. I love countersues; they're amazing.
Fucking sue for anything in America, won't they?
Oh, you can.
If that happened to me, I'd just be like, "Oh, look, mint! I'm in a."
It's that woman that sued McDonald's for making a fat. It's because of her that they started putting calories on the menu.
Yeah, or as the one that sued when they poured hot coffee on themselves and said that the cup didn't say "warning hot."
Yep.
No, that was a different one. That's been debunked a few times. That woman sued because the coffee that was spilled on her was kept at a certain temperature. It was like something like 84 degrees Celsius. So when it landed on her, it actually gave her like third-degree burns across her lap. And
That's
the reason
just her fucking fault for dropping hot drinks on her.
No, the reason why McDonald's kept it so hot, because generally when you get served coffee in a cafe, it's usually about 60 degrees. The reason why McDonald's kept it so hot is so that they could squeeze more out of the coffee grounds. The base of the coffee would last longer in the machine.
So the cutting costs.
But it was dangerously hot. So that was actually a health and safety thing. Like she was, and she only sued for the medical costs.
But the girl that got fat and sued him, that's different. She just kept eating McDonald's.
No, it's not. She sued them because something in the recipe was addictive. It was something.
Yeah,
it was something they were putting
sugar.
in. There was something they were putting in that was addictive. But anyway, regardless, this one is really funny because the officers are suing for emotional distress, embarrassment, ridicule, loss of reputation, humiliation. Basically, they fucked up by raiding his house. Didn't realize he was actually a celebrity who made music. And are now getting butthurt because they're being made fun of because they were fucking idiots.
Yep.
He's not going to go to court, is he? Because he's going to get high.
Talking about branding, I tried those Burger King Whopper flavored Doritos. I thought they were all right, actually.
Nah.
But at the bottom of the packet, it's got in text, burger not included.
Are you going to sue him?
No, because I was disappointed to find there was no burger included until I saw the
disclaimer.
The disclaimer. And I was like, oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Well, excellent. Thank you for the news. Let's move on to the Nexus. What's people been doing? Candy, you've had 9 weeks off.
Yeah, I've only done one thing, really. Actually, no, I've got a few. I'll just do one. I went to see John Wick 4. And
John the Wick 4.
John the Wick 4, a.k.a. Keanu 4. And I'll preface this. I have seen all the other John Wicks. I couldn't tell you what happened in any of them other than dog dies, gets angry. So I couldn't. I got no idea what's happening in the story, none whatsoever. Not really to the film's detriment because there's not really. Yeah, there's not much to pay attention to. You just look at it. It's very, very pretty, and it is. It's visually stunning. If you were to put the Cyberpunk logo across the top, it wouldn't look out of place at all. It's Keanu acting badly, but doing this just amazing choreography, and the sets and everything are so like visually rich and stunning. It doesn't matter what the story is, really. I mean, if there's somebody that's really into Wick lore, then I apologise. It's not for me. I don't really know what.
There's a load of lore to it.
I've seen all 3 of them.
Can you remember what happens?
Yeah, I saw 3. That was my Nexus.
No, because I watched them. I watched them on the lead. I watched them today.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't count then.
Well, that's why you know. That's why you know, because you literally watched them.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is the lore, because I've watched all 3 of them. Can't tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole... Man.
It's about a crime syndicate type thing called the High Table or something, isn't it?
Probably. They did mention the High Table once or twice.
Like that. Now, do you not pay attention?
I was distracted by Keanu. So this one's actually really long.
I was distracted by Keanu for other reasons.
Well, this one's really long. It's about 3 hours of not understanding what's happened.
Really?
But I feel like there's a lot of it that could be cut out. There was one scene where Keanu takes about 10 minutes to turn around and say, yeah.
Kill my dog.
Another scene.
Doesn't he only have like 380 words in the script as well?
Oh yeah, he barely speaks.
He don't really speak at all.
Yeah, there's lots
which
of
makes
punchy.
It better.
Lots of punchy. And
he's a great like good with choreography. Fuck, I can't even knock him for that. I can't put my hook in. But he's really good at doing those fight scenes. But Yeah, never mind.
In
We're not
3,
reviewing the other. We're not reviewing the other 3.
No, no, like in 3, where he kills somebody on the hotel ground, which is against
the rules
and stuff. And then he goes on this weird journey, fighting everybody along the way. And then he goes to a fucking desert in Casablanca for no reason. Because when he gets there, he meets the guy that apparently runs it all, and he pleads fealty to him, and he has his finger chopped off. And his quest is to prove his loyalty by going back to New York and killing Winston, who runs the hotel. And then when he gets there in 3, he changes his mind. And it's just like, what's the whole point of the desert thing? You've just lost a finger to change your mind when you get there.
It does start. It does actually start in the desert.
It's so weird.
You'll be glad to know that Winston's going strong. And in fact, he's one of the culprits that the film is too long. Going back to that, there's about half an hour of him walking from one end of a gallery to the next.
It's thinking from Killjoy, isn't it?
Walking. Hey, Killjoy.
Killjoy. It's Killjoy.
Lovejoy.
Yeah. Lovejoy, that's it. Not Killjoy, Lovejoy. Killjoy.
You were right. He went back to Killjoy.
Yeah, Lovejoy. Lovejoy. That's what it's called, wasn't it? Lovejoy. Not
Lovejoy.
I'm getting confused with Kilroy.
Yeah, you're thinking of Kilroy Silk.
There's a Harry Enfield character based on him as well.
Is there?
Pretty funny, yeah. But anyway, there's also a 90-minute sequence that he fell down the stairs. It was like Loki. He's been falling for 30 minutes, literally just falling down the stairs. And
can we talk about the film? Like, is anything good in the film, Candy? Because everyone says the stair sequence is incredible.
The choreography is incredible, and that's the most important thing about it.
That's what it is. It's a ride, isn't it? All the trilogy were a ride. It's just a ride. I didn't
sit there not knowing what was going on and not enjoy it. I still enjoyed it. I had no idea what was going on. It didn't matter because that's not what John Wick is here for. It's here for the stunning sets. It's here for the fighting. And it really, really delivers. It's all-out action for the whole film. It is stunning. But I mean, there's a few, like, he's indestructible, John Wick, as well. He would have died a million times.
So is Keanu Reeves by all accounts.
Yeah, he should have died a few.
He looks great, doesn't he? He looks great.
It's 58.
I mean, you can tell he's a little bit stiff in the neck, but he always has been, I think. I don't think that's an age thing. I think that's he had like a hockey injury or something, didn't he?
He looks great, man. Regardless what.
He's just incredible. Like, I know he's not the best actor, but you just cannot fault the amount he must have learned. Because it's 2.5, 3 hours of action sequence after action sequence. I cannot imagine the amount of work he put in to learn all that.
Mm.
And the amount of different fighting styles and everything he uses, and all the weapons, it just mental, defies any kind of logic how good it is. But yeah, there are some interesting non-death scenes from him. There's also like a good scene in a club, and this isn't ruining anything. However, he does fall about 40 feet in front of a bunch of dancers, then puts an axe in somebody's face. The dancers don't stop dancing. They're just so in the moment. They're still around him, giving it all that kind of thing. They just don't care. But
never stop.
If you like John Wick, like I can't tell you like story wise how good it is in comparison to the others because, like I said, I just don't know. But even if you haven't seen the others, you can go and you can. If you like action, you'll enjoy it.
I didn't dislike the 3 that I watched. I just didn't like love them. Do you know what I mean? They're entertaining. They remind me of like parkour videos or like fail videos. You just can't stop watching them. It don't mean you love them.
Yeah. You
just can't stop watching it. It's great entertainment, and I bet it's even better in cinema.
It's watching the spectacle of it. It is a really good. You have to see it in the cinema, really. But,
like biggest bag of popcorn, big gulp you can imagine.
You can smash that popcorn into it as well.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'd be right up for that. Now a cinema as well. I'd like to see the 4th one, but not wasting a cinema trip on it. I'm skinned.
The cinema was actually full as well. It was really nice to see. Like the cinema I go to locally, not even the premieres doesn't sell out. But yeah, no, it was packed. It was good. People like Keanu.
They do, don't they? They do.
Apparently, it's not the last one either.
Christ.
No, and then there's Ballerina, which is a spin-off.
Oh, I get why. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
it's got Anna de Armas in it, so
yeah,
there's a reason to go to the cinema.
It's like a beautiful and talented. It's like a resurgence of like those classic 80s just chopping people's neck films, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone left in the world for him to kill. Like at points, I'm thinking the general public just getting involved in this because there's like a never-ending army of baddies.
Mm.
I'm into it. Excellent. Have you got something else for the green room? I'm assuming.
Yes, I do.
Cool. Do you know, I really want to know what the man who has everything has been up to this week. Gadget.
So I have also seen a film at the cinema.
No way.
Yes, because I've been to see, as it'll come as shock to nobody,
John Wick 4.
No, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves.
Is that his full title?
That's the full title of it. So this was directed by Jonathan Goldenstein and John Francis Daly. Stars Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Regé-Jean Page, Justice Smith, Sophia Lillis, and Hugh Grant. And it's bloody marvelous. It is really good. Like you go in, I had reasonable expectations because I found the trailers quite entertaining, but I was preparing myself for like maybe a 7 out of 10 kind of film. No, it's absolutely spectacular. It's really bloody good. So the film is it's pitched as kind of an action comedy. To me, it feels like kind of like a comedic adventure film. So it has, I think,
Marvel.
No, I think closest you could probably maybe put it to is something like The Mummy, where it's kind of like an unlikely group of people come together and then they have to go on this kind of adventuring journey against world-ending evil kind of thing.
Like Jumanji.
A little bit, yeah.
I fucking love Jumanji, mate. I don't even care. I don't care what anyone says. I love Jumanji.
All 3 of the Jumanji films are great.
All of
for
them.
different reasons.
Yeah.
So Chris Pine is the story is told from Chris Pine's perspective. He plays Edgin Darvis, a bard and a former member of a mercenary group. He has a lute. He is camp as fuck, but funny enough, he's not a horny bard. They're not doing that particular trope.
Don't believe him.
He's joined by Michelle Rodriguez as Holga Kilgore, a barbarian who was exiled from her tribe.
Does she have an axe?
She does. And she is welcome to use it at all times.
A barbarian exiled from their tribe. What a lame backstory that is.
Justice Smith plays Simon Almar, a half-elf wild magic sorcerer who is a shit sorcerer. I also really appreciate just the gentle Simon the Sorcerer reference. That tickled me. And Sophia Lillis plays Doric, a tiefling druid who is a big fan of wild shape. So the thing to remember with this film is it is...
They've ripped us off.
It has been written by people who clearly play Dungeons & Dragons, unlike that horrible Dungeons & Dragons film we had in the early 2000s with...
How dare you? With Jeremy Irons?
With Jeremy Irons in it.
How dare you, sir?
So bad, that film. One of the worst films I've ever seen.
This one is written from a perspective of it feels like they were actually playing a campaign as they were playing this, and because this was what I enjoyed most about it. They do things that D&D players would do, like when we're playing D&D, you'll think of a
put
really
barrels in front of big giants.
You'll think of like a ridiculous solution to a situation. A couple of dice rolls, and it turns out it works.
Like throwing a bear.
Like throwing a bear. So I'll give you this example. So the film starts with Edgin and Holga in a jail in Icewind Dale. They have a parole meeting.
That's a game.
Well, it's a region in the.
I know.
Faerie.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
They're in for a kind of a parole board kind of meeting thing, and like that's given the backstory to the film, like what they were doing, how they became thieves, yada yada yada, setting up all the kind of the main backstory plot points. All the while through, Chris Pine is saying like, "Oh, where's Jonathan?" Who is an Arakoka, who is a bird, a birdman.
Stupid names as well in that.
They do, yes. But anyway. And he keeps saying, like, this guy's missing. He says, where is he? And he's going into the story. And as he gets to the end of the story, when they're about to make their judgment, the birdman walks in. And what do? They grab him and jump out of the window of this tower to allow the birdman to, like, flap his wings and fly them down to the ground. And that's how they escape the prison.
Oh,
that is something D&D players would fucking do. That they would think, there is a window in this room, we're 15 stories up, let's jump out and grab the bird. You know? Mm-hmm. It's that level of stupid. The Hugh Grant plays the bad guy in this, Forge Fitzwilliam. So he's an ambitious rogue and a con artist. And he is having the best fucking time. He is playing him like Boris Johnson. I'm not even kidding. And it's
go out, don't go out, go out.
Basically,
don't go out, like that.
and it's so funny. You can tell he's having so much fun with it, playing a bit of a bastard. And yeah, I absolutely adore the performance. I don't want to talk too much on the story because it does extrapolate like a D&D campaign would, where you're bouncing from place to place, you're finding out things. There are some weird cameos in this film. Bradley Cooper turns up at one point as a halfling. That was weird.
This is what I mean, right? We're suing them because they keep having like a devilishly handsome halfling. I think we've already done that.
Oh yeah, we have already done that.
Quattro.
Wow.
Does Henry Cavill appear? Because he's a massive D&D.
No, he's not. He's a Warhammer.
No, he's Warhammer. Get your
What?
nerd things
Warhammer.
right.
It's Joe Magliagliaglo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another stupidly handsome bastard as well.
There are some really fantastic references to D&D that you don't need to know about. Like, all the spells they use are D&D spells. There are characters and places referenced that are real in the D&D canon. There's a fantastic sequence with an overweight dragon. That dragon is in the lore of the D&D world. They bounce around, so they're up in the mountains. They go to the Underdark. They go to cities. They go to deserts. They have a really fun experience where they have to find answers. They have to find an item, and to do it, they come up with the idea of using the spell that allows them to speak to the dead. They're allowed to ask them 5 questions, and then the corpse goes back to being dead. And because they're in
like on The Witcher,
which
must have copied D&D.
Yes.
Cool.
But because they're inept, they end up having to dig up the entire fucking graveyard to eventually get their answer. And it's just a really fun
asking
sequence.
questions when they shouldn't be asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That's
everyone's
like
on
Monty Python shit.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Everyone's on top form, but I have to single out, like, Michelle Rodriguez is so good in this film.
Like, she's in Fast and Furious.
Well, this is the point I want to make. She, without having the kind of shadow of Vin Diesel around her, or maybe just the way that, or just the maybe
definitely is Vin Diesel, mate.
Yeah,
definitely.
Maybe the way he's kind of sculpted Letty's character.
Yeah.
She really gets to shine in this one. Like, Holger is a character with emotions, with feelings, with desires and drives that are not related to the man next to her. There is no romantic thing between Holger and Edgin, for example. They are purely platonic party members.
You're telling me she's an autonomous woman led to lead a film?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
An autonomous woman in her 40s as well.
I don't believe you. Hollywood's gone woke. I hate it.
But she's doing her own stunts, and the fight scenes that she gets are excellent. Like, there is an early fight scene where she basically takes out an entire group of guards while Chris Pine is trying to get out of his handcuffs, and she absolutely just demolishes them, and that's when she gets her axe. And she is just so good at it, and it just this film actually does prove that she's a really fucking good actor.
She's the best thing in that original Resident Evil film as well.
She is, yeah,
by far.
Yeah. I think the other thing, what it's important to make this film, give the quality of this film, is it doesn't do the meta thing. This is not a film about a bunch of people playing D&D and this is how their campaign looks and we just go into their imagination. This is a film about a story in Faerun. Like, this is just a story in that world. So it's not like you don't get to the end of the film and the camera zooms out on a table and it's the actors all around.
I thought that was going to be.
I was a little worried they were going to do that, but the film works as an actual real thing, and it just exists. And I really. They've
already said it's going to be a franchise now, haven't they?
Absolutely, I can see them doing a handful of good films out of this.
Yeah.
The use of kind of comedy in the action scenes is great. When they encounter a mimic, it's fucking hilarious. They pull out some really obscure monsters from the Monster Manual to put into this, and I just had a really good time with it. And Pip really enjoyed it, and she doesn't play D&D. She doesn't know it to the extent I do. You can see this on face value as a fantasy action comedy film, and it works. It doesn't bog you down
I
the
saw
lore.
On Roger Ebert's website, one of the reviewers said it reminds them of Jason and the Argonauts. I went, I'm in. I'm fucking in.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
in.
none of that.
I fucking love that shit.
Yeah. It's a really good family romp kind of film. It has a really good message to it. Everything's well acted. Like, there's bits that'll be scarier for the little ones, they say shit a few times, but other than that, it's great. I want more films like this. And I'm not just saying like in D&D terms. Like this was just a really big, fun film. It wasn't too ponderous over a message. It was just an adventure. And I think that like we haven't had a lot of films like that recently. So yeah.
Well, they're rebooting Aragon for you, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, apparently so. That's right.
I know there's a fifth book in that series.
TV show, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, go and see Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I'll definitely go and watch that.
Dungeons and Dragons. Cool. I've got a little gadget to review. Not you,
What?
Gadget.
I was going to
Little
say.
gadget.
Not that little.
I've been given one of these by the good people at goodbooks.com. This is not, they didn't ask me to review it. I'm reviewing it on my own half. I was given it. I won a competition.
Hey!
Hey!
You finally winning something.
Yeah, I won something. Don't get jealous.
E-reader.
It's the new Kindle, the baby one, the baby Kindle.
All right.
It's really nice. I got it in denim. I didn't have a choice, but I've never had a proper e-reader like that. I've used Kindle on my phone and stuff, and it's not the same, is it? Because your eyes
I
start.
don't like
burning.
reading on tablets or things,
No.
so I had a Kindle which is like a grey background, so it's much easier on the eyes.
Yeah, that's what this one
you
is.
can't read in the dark, but I wouldn't do that anyway.
Obviously, this is very visual for people, but like you've got all your standard Kindle stuff. But what I really like about this is the dark mode and stuff, so I can read it in bed and stuff. It's also got Audible connectivity because it's Amazon, guys. I know people don't like Amazon, but it's got Bluetooth enabled headphone. You know what I mean? So I can listen to audiobooks and stuff like that. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because I've been reading a novel, a great novel, a novel that's very old. Fyodor Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. We're going
hell,
there,
man.
guys. We're going there. We're going there.
Uplifting fucking Soviet era book to talk about on the podcast. Jesus
We're
Christ.
Modern
Absolutely.
escapism.
Yeah, but this is why I had to bring up the Kindle because I'm reading it on a modern device. Cutting edge device.
Are you reading it on a modern device because it's public domain and free?
Yes.
There it
Did
is.
you know? There's so
Because
many.
it's public domain and free and has been for a while.
Yeah, I also read. I read War of the Worlds. I read Animal Farm. I read Frankenstein. I've read all
You
the classics since I've had it.
bastard.
I'm a tight bastard. I pay for Audible, so you know what I mean. I get a credit a month. But yeah, so Crime and Punishment, very famous book, which follows the mental anguish and moral dilemmas of Rodion Roskilnyakov, an impoverished ex-student in St. Petersburg who plans to kill an unscrupulous pawnbroker, an old woman who stores money and valuable objects in her flat. So I'm assuming you guys have not read Crime and Punishment, but you've absolutely heard of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a syllabus book for some people, and especially like sociology and stuff like that. This is actually the second time I read it in my life. I just like it. It's subtle themes of isolationism and alienation. I'm not going to spoil the story massively, but it was just such a pleasure to read because Amazon have actually redone all them classics. I don't know if you've seen it on Kindle app. They've redone all the classics now in better English because unfortunately most of the classics that exist aren't in English and they weren't by English authors.
I mean,
Apart from
there's been some
Dickens.
dodgy translations of Dostoevsky over the years.
Oh
as well.
God, yeah. This is like it's not the plain text version that everyone knows. You know, where they've just completely, massively just gone. That were Russian. Now it's English, which makes no sense. This is from the ground up, like retelling of it, and it's really fucking resonant at the moment because, like, I feel the same as Rodion because the world's speeding up faster than I can keep up with, and that's what this book's about. He's left in the dark a lot through it, and like when you guys saying, "How do you not know that?" or "How do you not remember that?" I'm like, "This is this guy. This is you know what I mean. This is this guy in the book." And I'm doing this little reading challenge now where, like Gadget says, I'm a tight bastard, so I'm reading a classic novel every week because I think there's about 300 free now, and I'm going to read a classic novel every week. Next week's Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. That's
Oh, fucking hell, man.
yeah.
That's a real uplifting page turner as well, isn't it?
I've read the first volume before, and it took me about 2 months, and there's 3 volumes.
Yeah, it's not a easy book to digest.
I've just done this thing where I need to stop like massacring computer games and just smashing through them constantly. I need my brain to be focused. And this little Kindle, I know it sounds stupid, but this little Kindle thing, it's tricking my brain into thinking I'm using some kind of gadget. And I'm reading stuff. I'm getting through stuff. And I'm concentrating. Believe it or not, when I read from the Kindle, I can't have anything else around me. So I'm not listening to podcasts. I'm just doing that one thing. And I'm absorbing so much. Like I read, like I say, War of the Worlds again. And there's bits that I can't even remember. I know it's been redone and stuff, but it's still massive parts of the book, the very famous book that everyone knows. And I'm do you know what I mean? I'm getting it in, and it's I don't know if it's tricking my brain, like I say, into thinking some kind of technological marvel, but it's working, and I'm really enjoying it. And this fucking Kindle, this fucking lovely little machine, it's fantastic. And the battery life, I've not even charged it, and I've had it 2 weeks.
The battery life, I mean, incredible.
What the fuck? I don't even. It's USB-C as well, which blew me away with it being an Amazon device, because they tend to like micro USB still, don't they? Yeah. Fucking idiots.
Wish I knew where my Kindle went. I used to have one. I couldn't find it anywhere.
I've lost mine. I don't know where it's gone. I've literally searched the house this week for it.
I'm just absorbing, and because I pay for Amazon Prime anyway, the Prime reading, there's so much good stuff on there. Absolutely loads of good stuff. You can only get 10 at once, and then you've got to put them back like a library system.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I've got the Hideo Kojima book lined up ready. So that's going to be a nice read. So I'm just reading, and it just feels good, and I wanted to bring that up because before this I was playing Dredge for a fucking solid month trying to review that. But it's a good feeling reading classic books that have been redone really nicely, because back in because I did English literature at school and stuff like that, and it's not engaging when it's not designed in your language, is it? It's fucking dull. Like when they do the complete works of Shakespeare redone in plain English, it's fucking crap. It's genuinely crap. It's proper nice to see it. And Dostoevsky. Who'd have thought you were a good author? Who'd have thought it? But yeah, that's me. Expect more books from me this year, guys, because I've got a nice new little gadget to read them on. Who else haven't I got to? Let's dig.
Watched a new film this week. So another film, but this one wasn't at the cinema. It was on my TV because it's only available on Apple Plus. I watched the Tetris movie.
So did I.
So this stars Taron Egerton, Toby Jones, Roger Allam, and just a lot of Russian people that I've never heard of.
It's a very Russian theme this episode today.
Yeah. So yeah, this is basically the story of how Tetris became to be, and from its invention by Alexei Pajitov.
Yeah.
And how businessman Henk Rogers kind of went about trying to acquire the rights to it and sell it to Nintendo. And, if you don't know the story, it's like, oh, okay, the story of somebody bought Tetris and put it on the Nintendo sounds a bit dull. I really, really enjoyed it because there's a hell of a lot more behind the story than that.
I like the trailer of it.
It all kind of... So the story is that Henk is... he has a software development company, and he's trying to sell one of his games in Vegas.
Bulletproof Games.
Yeah, Bulletproof Games, that's it. And he tries to... he plays Tetris, and he loves it, and he's like... I really believe in Tetris. Like, it's going to be the next big thing. It's going to be massive. And then he goes about trying...
He was selling copies of Go, weren't he? And no one was buying it.
Yeah,
I fucking love Go.
So he goes about trying to acquire the rights. But obviously, this is in the late 80s, and the game comes from the USSR. They don't really tend to allow a lot of things out of the country, or especially to the West at that time. And... it's a really fun film. Like, I really, really liked it. It's got a bit of comedy into it. It's got almost a kind of spy thriller like feel to it at times. Like when he gets to Russia, and obviously they start, all the contract talk starts to kind of get boiled down, and you've got the KGB being involved and unscrupulous people, and over in the UK you've got Robert Maxwell trying to
Big Rob.
trying to get the rights to it. Who is a horrible man.
And swindled people out of millions of fucking pounds.
Yeah, basically robbed his company pension to try and keep his company afloat. And he's basically trying to get Tetris because it's the thing that will save Microsoft, basically.
Yeah, and he kept saying he was friends with Gorbachev.
Yeah. Well, he does have ties to Gorbachev.
Yeah, he does.
He did have ties to Gorbachev. So there's all this kind of politicking going on between Bulletproof Games, between Robert Stein, who's played by Toby Jones, who's the guy who originally acquired the rights. There's, obviously the KGB are involved, and the Russian, I can't remember what they're called, Elgon or something. It's the company that deal with
Igor.
Yeah, they deal with computer games and software and stuff in Russia. And it's just really well acted. The music's great. I love there's little transitions throughout the film where things kind of go like a bit blocky. Like
they go pixely, don't it?
Yeah, it goes all pixelated and blocky, like like Tetris. Ooh. And it's good. It's really good.
The theme tune of the film's really good because it's the underlying theme of the actual Tetris theme all the way through.
Yeah.
It's like underlining all the way, and it's quite a clever little like edit on the actual one of the most famous like theme tunes of all time. It's fucking brilliant.
Like it's just Taron Egerton's really great in this as well, and I just kind of
he's a good actor.
Yeah, and I kind of love the story of because, like I said, it starts off and it's quite like the first half an hour is quite comedic. Like it starts, like the way he manages to get in front of Hiroshi Yamauchi, and that all like meeting with Nintendo. Like it's really funny and really sweet, and he keeps using Mario allegory.
Yeah, allegories.
Yeah, to like try and like speak his language, but it just has everything for various different people. So if you're a gaming nerd, you've got Tetris, you've got Nintendo, the launch of the Game Boy, and all that's in there. Nintendo's rivalry with Atari. You've got coding in there if you're into that computer coding and stuff like that. You've got this kind of KGB Russian spy aspect to it as well. But
they're all driving ladders and stuff, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So yeah, it's.
I think it's a good film, mate.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's probably my out of the 2023 films I've seen, released this year, it's probably my second favorite film.
Yeah,
like a couple of hours long, and flies by.
And the fact is, and I did my due diligence on this as well because I was thinking, is this a Rocket Man situation again, where most of everything's 100% true, everything.
Yeah.
Even Hank he's been on YouTube since that film came out and said the only thing that wasn't true is I've never owned a pair of Levi's. He said, fucking hell, mate. That's perfect. And that Henk is Dutch. He did mention that he was Dutch in this, but he's got a Dutch accent.
Yeah.
But it's Taron Egerton. He's just going to do it for Apple, isn't he? He's going to make it.
It's just such a... the story is just so... I just can't believe that they had to do this to get Tetris.
He's got some grass balls on him.
Yeah.
In general, it is just a bit of a mad story. When you because I read about it years ago, like how Tetris. I say how it was made because it was just one of these computer experiments that someone eventually happened upon and creates this game. But yeah, the actual process of getting it through Nintendo, somehow managing to get them to knock Super Mario Land off the pack in with the Game Boy and stuff like that. It's just absolutely
it's
mad.
all true, isn't it? Mad. If you like that, Stig, there's a book called Golden State, which is about the first McDonald's franchise shop being allowed behind the Iron Curtain. It's very similar where he has to go and he has to feed the KGB chicken nuggets to say, this is good, you're going to benefit from these chicken nuggets, you're going to like them. And KGB are like, very good, very nice. Do you know what I mean? It's just really good.
One of those things where he spoke to the right person at the right time. Like the person that on the Russian side seems like they're going to be difficult, but actually has some integrity about them. And actually listens rather than just being all like, no, here we do this, here we do that, and you'll listen to me. He actually listens to Henk and actually goes along with it, and they sort things out. And I just thought that was really, it was really good, really interesting story.
It's beautiful. I mean, not to spoil it massively, but these two gentlemen still exist today, and they do own the Tetris company today, and it's well known that they do. And it's just a beautiful end to a time that was just like, what the fuck going on?
Yeah, like he put everything on the line for Tetris.
Literally,
like, he believed it in so much.
£4 million bank loan and stuff like that.
Yeah, his house and everything was like, and, like, you know, the risking his life going to Russia and going against the Russian government.
Yeah.
During that time as well, when there was a lot of heat between the Americans and the Russians, and
he avoided a gulag by an hour.
Yeah, it's just.
And once you're in a gulag, you're in a gulag.
Really enjoyable, really, really good.
Yeah, and Toby Jones again playing an absolutely unscrupulous little pipsqueak. He's great at that. He's so good at that. He's brilliant at it. But yeah, I liked it as well, mate. Brilliant. Biggie, you're last.
I haven't really got anything to say. I watched John Wick 3.
Just
was pretty much the
like
only
normal.
thing I saw. Yeah, excuse me. But my only criticism, apart from what Candy's already covered, is the choreography. Sometimes it slows down a little bit. There's a pause too long sometimes when he's fighting, because you got the reaction of him either reacting to something happening or someone being punched. And when you see movies like The Raid, where it's so fast paced, it's just a different level of combat. And I think sometimes it just slows down a little
Who's
bit too much.
the
when he's
lead
fighting.
actor in The Raid? What's his name again?
Oh God.
It's not Tony Jaa, is it?
No.
That's Ong Bak, innit?
Iko Uwais.
Yeah, how old is he?
He is now
When The Raid came
40
out?
years old, so he'd have been about late 20s, 30. About 30.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves is nearly 60 years old. That's why.
No.
28.
No, it's not just about that. Some of the people that he's fighting are from The Raid in that movie.
I know they are,
the guys at the end, and they're probably not too far off the same age, really.
That's true, actually, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's just a little bit of that slow react. You know, like in the 80s fight scenes you used to see, and it's they look and get ready for the punch and stuff. There's sort of that kind of reaction. And that just pulls me out of the immersion a little bit. But yeah, it was a fine action movie. It's very enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, like Candy says, there's issues with plot, and I like the universe actually, because wherever John Wick seems to be going, there's always somebody there waiting to attack him. God. It's like this weird universe, but there's assassins literally everywhere. But, yeah,
my favourite scene in the whole trilogy that I've seen, obviously I know it's quadrilogy now, but the trilogy I've seen is the scene when he goes to the doctor and time's running out. And doctor just has to stop stitching him up. And it's like, I like that.
Shoot me here, because it'll make it look like I fought back.
Yeah, and he shoots him twice. So that means I have to put Keanu Reeves twice now at Pod Art, pal.
No, you don't.
No. Just do a big
Keanu
in the background.
Yeah, could do. Excellent. Let's move on to the first of our Death and Taxes main topics, guys. So this month we're going to mainly be talking about death and taxes. It clues in the name, really.
Oh, we'll be mostly talking about death while Candy worries about our taxes.
Yeah.
No, I don't have to worry till January.
So yeah, this episode we're going to talk about like memorable deaths in media. And now this can be quite subjective to some of us because we remember things differently, but I'm assuming we've all got some big hitters in here. And there's someone here that I know loves the death scene more than anyone. And that's Candy.
Oh, how did you know it was me? Well, it's true. And because of that, I've got a bit of a collection. So I've sorted them into categories.
Got a spreadsheet, guys.
Yeah, so, right, hang on. Yeah, get
Death
that
Manager.
up. So for my saddest, Terminator 2. The scene, we all know. I will preface it. I've tried not to be too spoilery with more recent stuff.
Oh, massive warning.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be spoiled.
So yeah, I think all of this is more or less 10 years. In fact, I'm going to delete one of them. That's not going to go in. They're more or less 10 years older. So yeah, Terminator 2. When Arnie goes down in the lava, thumb in the air. And also one of the best lines. Now I know why you
Does that count as
cry.
a death?
What's that?
Does it count as a death?
I'm just more impressed that she's quoted line like word for word the bit from Spaced when
Yeah,
And Simon
I know.
Pegg's character
I
was
have as
talking
well,
about that.
yeah. And the sound and the thing, and
You bet
But
he
it's-
wasn't alive in the first place, Candy.
he's sentient. You're really going to love my
is that
next
what
one
it's-
then, if that's.
Is that what you're counting as life, sentience? I mean, scientists would agree with you.
I mean, we're getting scarily towards the era of robots. So yeah,
I'm
So-
only being pathetic, mate. I agree. It's a fantastic scene.
So the next one, if you don't like non-real deaths, you're going to hate this. Littlefoot's mum in The Land Before Time. Does anyone
That
remember
were
that?
real. That were real.
That's
Yeah.
still a trauma. Too soon.
That,
My
that
God.
was real. That happened.
When she dies
That's
in the
based on
rain,
fact.
he tries to snuggle up in a little back. Oh my God.
Don't, mate. Don't, mate.
Don't.
Don't,
No
mate.
details.
Don't.
No, can't do it. No,
Can't.
nah.
God,
Worse-
they don't make them like they used to, did they? Land Before Time. Fucking hell.
Way worse than Bambi's mum's death, because I didn't really know
Way
that she
worse.
died. I didn't really know that that's what had happened. I thought she'd just gone. I thought his dad
Also-
came up and said, you can't be with her anymore. Didn't understand that she was dead.
Littlefoot was such a cutie. He didn't deserve it.
God, and she was just, she tried to protect him. Oh, fuck, no, can't.
Remember when
No.
Disney made that CGI one, that dinosaur, and they were like, this is going to be the next Land Before Time, and it was shite.
I don't even remember that.
The good dinosaur. Yeah.
No, not the good dinosaur, no. The one that's just called
It's
Dinosaur.
just called Dinosaur,
I
yeah.
know the one you're talking
It
about.
was
yeah.
fucking shite.
Not
The
dinosaurs, as in,
dinosaur's
like, not
very
the
good
mama.
either.
No. Yeah, it's not very good. But yeah, Land Before Time, fucking heavy stuff for a kid.
Next.
And sequel's got a fucking death in it as well.
Oh, I don't remember. I have seen the sequel as well, but I don't remember it.
Oh.
Nothing quite compares to that first one. There's always
Well,
like,
you know,
like
remember was it Beaky?
no. It
The
obviously
little
didn't hit me as hard.
ducky, the little ducky thing, the little fucking that one.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Oh! Fuck.
Rip Beaky.
Fuck it.
So
Beaky,
moving on
that's
to most dramatic, and this is this is bad. So the first I've got Sergeant Elias from Platoon. So when he goes down, he reaches his arms to the sky, does the fucking
This
The
will make a
dramatic
fantastic Blu-ray box cover.
yeah, that dramatic music. Also in Spaced, when Nick Frost gets killed by paintballs.
All your deaths come from space.
And after Elias from Platoon, I've got Matey Boy from, I couldn't be bothered to look up his name, Matey Boy from Green Mile, the prisoner who's,
John Coffey.
yeah, no,
Like the drink, but spelt different.
no, not him, the one that gets put in the electric chair, but the prison officer deliberately doesn't wet the sponge on his head.
Oh yeah, the guy that's got
Oh,
the
yeah.
mouse.
That's right, yeah, Mr. Jingles. I remember Mr. Jingles' name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was just horrific because obviously he wasn't sort of mentally well, and this prison guard had a particular vendetta
Remember when
against
Frank
him.
Darabont were good? Remember? Fuck. Good times.
Wasn't he Eugene Victor Toombs in X-Files? That's the same guy, wasn't it?
That was the fucked up guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that guy. Oh god, he's awful. He's awful,
Yeah.
and he gets all the flies in his body.
Ooh, yeah.
Stephen King, isn't it? Green Mile. I think it's Stephen King.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Brilliant
One of
film.
his short stories, and they made
Yeah.
a fucking film that's longer than his actual
4 hours long
novella.
film. Oh, so good. I haven't seen it in so much time as well. So what else have we got? We got the most shocking deaths, and unsurprisingly, I've got the alien chest burster scene. No one knew it was going to happen. Famously, my favourite bit is the girl that goes, "Oh my
Yeah.
god!" Like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!"
She does. She doesn't know, does she? And she's still.
Yeah, I know. Like none of the actual actors know what's going to happen. So
They didn't know, did they?
no.
Didn't know
So
at
these
all.
genuine reactions, hers were the absolute best, completely memorable. But yeah, like at the time, completely shocking. No one knew what was going to happen.
I would really like to see if there's any like cutting room floor footage of like Sigourney Weaver turning to Ridley Scott going, "Ridley, what the fuck?"
Or someone actually vomiting. Who else have I got in most shocking? The weird little girl in Hereditary as well.
God,
And
Oh, yeah.
that's
Fucking hell.
possibly, yeah, that's possibly a little bit. Should I talk about it anyway?
I've never
I
seen
mean,
it.
I put it on the
Not-
pod art, so.
I don't think
Yeah,
I will
so
see it.
This the younger sister of the main character
You'd love Hereditary.
goes to joins him at a party as a allergic reaction, so they have to head home. Leans her head out the window to get a bit of air, and her head gets just straight up knocked off.
What, we like
Jesus.
no even like cut to like a tunnel turning up or out like that?
She
Bang.
hits
Go
a
on.
post, head off. Did you see it? Fucking.
I mean, you just don't expect it because it's a child as well.
If that were me and that were in that situation, I'd have fucking chuck body. Hang on, keep driving.
And then
fucked. We are fucked.
So, like, we've already spoiled it anyway. So he drives home, and just leaves her in the car, goes to- and lets his mum find her in the morning.
He stones as well.
It wasn't. He didn't keep the head though, did he? That was left out. There was still
That was
maggots and
gone, wasn't it? That
Yep.
fucking bad bypass.
stuff.
It's fucking.
And he says,
horrendous.
"You would love it. You would love it." I don't think I would. I don't think I
No, the
would.
movie itself. The movie's excellent.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Well,
about
it
the
is
ending.
until the last 10 minutes.
Yep, the ending
spoken about that
absolutely just ruined it.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it
No,
did.
it didn't.
But you're not having it.
Completely different film.
Mhm.
Completely
No,
different
it's-
film. Yes, it
It's
is.
the story. It's,
No, the ending is a
Re-
completely different kind of film.
It makes sense. Trust me.
Does it
Gadget, do you know what they're on about?
Nah, no clue.
Nah, me neither, mate. Me neither.
Well, me and Candy agree.
Just
Watch
sing
it.
the magic roundabout in my head right now.
Na, 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 na. The death of Zebedee. Oh, what an episode.
You shouldn't have taken all that heroin.
That LSD, mate, went straight to his head.
all over the show? I just thought of another one, actually. Another shocker of a death that made me jump was Devil's Rejects. And it's the girl who's made to wear somebody else's face. She goes like flying out the hotel or the motel by the highway and just immediately gets hit by a truck.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
completely splattered. And that just took me by surprise. And that's the point where I saw two people walk out of the cinema as well. So that was good. Obviously, it took them by surprise
This
as well.
is against God. Let's
Yeah, but
leave.
the ending to that, the deaths in that, well,
Cool, aren't they?
it's great. I just love how he does the whole Freebird song and does
Yeah,
the
oh,
whole
that
of the
was so
guitar
good.
solo of them
the whole,
getting
the whole
absolutely
fucking 6,
riddled
7
with
minutes of
bullets.
Freebird.
and
Yeah,
somehow
that was-
they survived.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Devil's Rejects. That's his magic.
Devil Rejects.
Somehow they returned.
But the what's the one? 3 devils or something?
3 from Hell?
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
Shite.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah, big shite. I quite liked, I mean, House of a Thousand with Corpses was okay.
It's not
It
good.
was-
You've got no say in this.
No, I know I don't.
You've got no
I don't
authority.
consider
Yeah,
it a Rob
I know
What's
it's not
good?
good, but I've got a
a
slight. I like the characters just because of Captain Spaulding. It's
Yeah.
fucking great.
Just consider it a Rob Zombie music video. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
What else have I got? Oh, most satisfying deaths. Pete from Shaun of the Dead. So moments after trying to
Turn it down.
convince Shaun to shoot his own mother, he gets torn apart, falls out the window, torn apart by zombies, guts all over the place. Everyone is happy.
Yes.
That's a homage to Day of the Dead.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
just going to say that, yeah.
Choke
There's a
on
lot of
them.
dead. Yeah, there's a lot of
That's a
dead
great,
in there.
great death scene.
Joffrey in Game of Thrones. I think it's arguably the most satisfying death of all time.
Yeah, I
No,
go with
you see, I didn't think that was satisfying because he was poisoned, and yes, he suffered a little bit. I wanted him kind of taken apart slowly by someone with a sword.
I mean, it did look like a fairly agonising death. He went pretty blue for a
Yeah.
while.
I think
yeah,
the
I kinda
I think
Arya should have
I'm
been
with Candy on this one.
Nah,
I think
Arya
the
should have been
Sand
getting stabbed
Viper,
with
whatever his name was, the Joel from The Last of Us. I think he had a worse death.
Can we
Well, he
skip this
almost
because
didn't have-
you literally you're using up all my material.
Sorry.
This is why we need to confirm stuff first, isn't it?
But yeah, Joel didn't have to die.
I just
In,
know I knew
in
none
Game
of
of
you were going to
Thrones.
pick mine, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Right, another satisfying one then. The lawyer in Jurassic Park that gets eaten off the toilet. Another one that had to go. Little weedy man running away. Off the toilet he goes. I would have liked it more had he been mid-shit, though. Like, he still had his trousers on. He should have had them down round, like, and a newspaper. That would have been better.
Yeah.
Or, like, Snake on his mobile phone. Although that probably didn't exist then, did it?
I don't think he's actually
Tetris.
running to the toilet. Is he just running because he's scared?
Yeah, he just runs into
Yeah.
a building.
I know,
Yeah.
but how funny would it have been, though, if he
But his
actually...
trousers are down, though, aren't they?
No, they're up,
No.
I think.
Oh.
That's
He's
what I
just
mean. Like,
hiding in the
whilst he was
cubicle.
there, you would probably need to. If you saw a T-Rex thundering at you, I know what I would need to do at that moment. If there were local conveniences, I'd make use of it. So that was good.
I
That was
just
good
ru-
death.
I'd just run towards Sam Neill in any situation. Anything like
No,
that.
you,
To
well,
the
you
Chris
think that. You
Pratt.
think he's a nice person, and he's not. I thought that
He
too.
is
I
a
made that
nice
mistake.
person. You just made a tit of
He's-
yourself in front of him.
No,
Sam
I
Neill is
didn't.
the most innocent man in the whole saga of Jurassic Park. He's such a lovely bloke. All he cares about is the animals. He's a nice guy. Just because you fucking ruined your chances with Sam Neill, don't put that on me. Don't put
he's
your
a good
evil
actor.
on me.
He acts a
fucking
nice
love
bloke,
Sam Neill.
but behind closed doors, pure spite, pure rage of the man. Honestly, I'm lovely. Why would you not like me? I don't get it.
You see.
Don't you see? Yeah, I'd even run to him on Event Horizon. He knew the score.
Fucking no chance.
But at least it doesn't show. So the goriest scene. Does anyone remember? Does anyone watch the film Slither?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James Gunn.
Brenda from Slither, the one that was inseminated by the aliens. Explodes, horrible little wormy aliens. But it's the bit where she goes, "Something's wrong with me."
Yeah.
Yeah, you're spherical. There's definitely something wrong with you.
Don't feel too
wouldn't have
good.
Fucked up film, that.
I wouldn't have left it to that point before. Like I would have seen a doctor probably like 15 feet ago.
Yeah, but Michael Rooker in that film's incredible.
Michael Rooker's
Yes.
incredible and everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Stretchy Neck Man from The Thing as well. That's another gory one. I remember watching
Stretchy
that one.
neck man.
Well, I'm sure he's got a name, but we all remember what it's famous for. The neck stretchiness. I watched that when I was way too young, and that scarred me
Is
for
it
life.
Norris?
Norris.
Chuck Norris?
No.
Is it Chuck Norris? Oh.
No, his name is Norris.
His name's Norris, not Chuck Norris.
Chuck
Norris
Norris.
can't be killed by a thing.
He doesn't die.
I'm going to say, he assimilates with the thing, and the thing becomes Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
Stupid.
Stretchy Norris thing.
Yeah.
And finally, I've got my funniest. The Melty Acid Man in RoboCop. So he gets
Oh, I got that too.
chucked through a vat of acid.
She's going through everyone's, isn't she?
Well, I'm
Yeah,
not
not a
dwelling on
single
it,
one
so
of
everyone... And then he gets
I've only got one.
completely decimated by a car, minging.
Fucking brilliant.
Melty skin all
Explodes
over,
over the
place.
car.
Mm.
Yep. This is a good one. Ray Liotta eating his own brain in Hannibal. This is,
Yeah.
this
This
is
is in
coming
real
into...
life. Can't say this.
Yeah, but it's funny though, isn't it? And
It's
finally,
creepy, that scene. That scene is really creepy for me. I don't know why.
oh, do you know what? There's one that I've missed. Oh, I think I was going to put it in my best test of all time. Okay, so my last funniest one is the passenger on the Titanic that falls off the top of the boat and hits the propeller on the way down.
Oof.
Oh, I loved it. That was
Hilarious.
hilarious. And then I think
Such a
I would have
fucking
put this in most
morbid
satisfying.
bastard, aren't you?
I know. I think I probably would have put this in most satisfying, but I think I'm going to have it as my greatest death of all time. And I'm sorry if anyone else has got this. The Nazis from Raiders of the Lost Ark. The melty face, the explodey head.
I thought you meant sad then. It's really sad that the Nazis died. at the
Yeah,
end.
rip Nazis.
Poor lads.
Don't say it, Biggie.
Don't even
We'll do it.
mention
So
it.
tempted right now.
They were just following orders, weren't they, Biggie? That's all, mate. That's all.
So yeah, my greatest death of all time is the Melty Nazis.
The Melty Nazis.
It's great. You know, my mum put a
That's
thing
a
on my
podcast
brother's
title.
head.
Waiting that. Melty Nazis.
As practical effects go, it's fucking genius for its
Great,
time.
isn't it?
Mm.
And everyone saw it when they were like 8 and got scarred by
Wax
it as
molds,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, I say my mum wouldn't let my brother see it. Put a tea towel over his
Yeah.
head.
It's
When
fucking
was
on.
the first one?
It is horrendous.
I remember
What
feeling
about
it,
that-
like
what-
knowing
what
that bit was
about that
coming
one
and going
death?
to another room.
That one death on Raiders again, where he fucking punches that man in the propellers.
Yeah,
Fucking.
but you don't see
If you
it.
don't really
That
see
film's
that, you just
That's
hear
an
it.
off-screen kill.
Yeah.
I know, but it's the visceral nature of the sound that
Yeah.
it's so fucking.
You know what's happened.
You know what's happened.
Amira watched it with me last year, so
Yeah, my kids have watched it and they're all laughing their heads off.
Let's not forget the monkey that
fucking
ate the prune, or the date.
Bad date.
bad dates.
Bad date.
Brilliant. Now Candy's gone through all of Hollywood deaths. Is there any left for anyone else? Gadget.
Okay, so I've literally just thought of this one because this is my worst death, most annoying one, and it's Han in Tokyo Drift. Simply because they've retconned that death twice now.
You mean Han Solo in Tokyo Drift?
Yes, they've retconned his death twice, so his death means nothing. But I've just literally thought of that because I remember seeing him in the fucking trailer for 10.
You can't wait for you to watch how it happens.
Yeah, I can't.
Fucking shite. Makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Life always finds a way.
Honestly.
Family always finds a way, clearly.
Wait for Gal Gadot to come back.
Oh, fuck off. She doesn't come back, does she?
No, I'm just saying I'm waiting for it.
All right. So, I've got two categories here. I haven't quite got every death in Hollywood like Candy had. But I've got one, deaths that made me sad or shocked me, and then deaths I was happy about. So, I'll go through the ones that were sad or shocked me first. I'm going in hard for Mass Effect 3 with Morden.
You fucking gone with my big one straight away, you motherfucker. Stop.
So, Morden's... Well, do you want to go through Morden when we get to your time?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let you do that one. Next one...
Did you say that's the one that annoyed you?
No. This is like a impactful one.
Excellent. We can tag team that later then.
Yeah. Moving swiftly on.
We should have discussed this, Stig. I told you.
Tried before. None of you listen.
Horban Washburn, otherwise known as Wash, in Serenity.
Yeah.
So that one shocked me because he was obviously a beloved character. And he's kind of reasonable all throughout Firefly and to a point in Serenity. He was kind of a comic relief, but he was a generally nice character and a nice guy. And he is the pilot, and you get the kind of impressive kind of crash landing sequence when they're being chased by the Reavers. And it's all tense. They get down safely, and then a fucking spear just comes through the front of the cockpit and kills them dead. And it says
like a leaf on the wind or something like that.
Yeah, I am a leaf on the wind. Watch me soar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
And it's such a sudden death, and it comes out of nowhere, and it was fucking shocking. It's one of the most shocking deaths.
And I think his wife, I always forget her name. She acts perfectly about how shocked she is as well. She doesn't. You can't take that in that suddenly, can you?
No, she goes. She's a soldier. She goes into battle mode.
Think about it for us. Yeah, battle mode. That's it. Yeah, it's like carry on. It's fucking brilliant. Serenity is such a good film.
It's a really good film. It's a shame Fox killed the franchise off.
And Chiwetel Ejiofor in that is one of the best baddies ever.
Oh, he's sinister as fuck.
Fucking hell, he's good.
Next one I've got up. I'm just going to say two words, and you'll all know it instantly. Iron Giant.
Tree, rock,
Superman.
That's it. It's the Superman when he's going up to stop the missile.
Family.
Okay, fuck off.
Vin Diesel's good when all he can say is a few words.
Yeah.
I am Groot.
No,
we are
Iron
Groot.
Man.
Yeah, Iron Giant. It just that ending just hits hard every time. It's a beautiful film, and like apparently it was a commercial flop. Like people should see the film. It's really good, but Jesus Christ, it's a 4-alarm mascara warning on that one. Next one was Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Another mention for Michael Rooker.
He's so good.
I don't really like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that much. It's an okay film. But I really like the kind of character, because Yondu was kind of one of the antagonists in the first film. I quite like his kind of redemption arc, and then the kind of, you get a bit more of the, it's that line, he may have been your father, but he weren't your daddy. Yeah. It's just like that. That's such a fucking line from him. And Michael Rooker's just a great actor.
Mary Poppins, yo!
Yeah. Who's Mary Poppins? Was she cool? Yeah. So, I'm Mary Poppins. Yeah, I fucking love that. And I really came to enjoy his character.
It's because Rooker's incredible at everything he puts his fucking hand to.
He's a really good actor. And he's in quite a lot actually. But yeah, I think that was a highlight moment in that film because it was a very good character death.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also a kind of an average film. I think that scene like uplifted the film. The last one of my impactful or ones that make me cry, and it makes me cry every single time, it's Ben's death in Scrubs, which is...
Spoiler alert. I'm joking.
Which is Brendan Fraser's character when he dies. It's the way it happens is kind of... It's a misdirect for the audience. Like, you don't realize he's actually dead until like the very last scene. Most of the time he's only interacting with one character, and it's like based out of guilt because he fucked up, which caused Ben to die. And when it hits, it just hits, And it also helps that Brendan Fraser played the character really well. He was very charming and quirky and just slightly weird man.
Give that man an Oscar.
Yeah, we should. We'll give him awards. But yeah, if you know the episode, it's called My Mistake or My Mess Up or something like that. My Screw Up. It just hits so hard because, again, he's such a good actor and it's such a good character that he plays. But these aren't the ones. These are the deaths I enjoyed. So first up, and Oodles, you're going to respect the hell out of this decision. Emma Emmerich in Metal Gear Solid 2.
She had to go.
She was a fucking creepy little incest child that was whinging all the way through that you were rescuing her. I fucking hated her. Everyone complains about the worst kind of rescue companion mission is the original version of Ashley in Resident Evil 4, the original version. Now, Emma Emmerich is fucking worse. She can't walk, she can't swim, she can barely see anything. You've got to guide her through a fucking sniper alley where she's being attacked by multiple people all the time. And then she gets killed by an absolute daddy. And she's got this fucking really creepy relationship with her brother. I'm fairly sure they were fucking.
Hey, they were. It's meant that, and also Otacon fucked his stepmother as well.
Fucking Otacon, man. Jesus Christ, lad. Keep it in your pants. Oh, man, I hated
It's a good-looking guy.
I hated that character so much, and when she died, I was like, yeah, good decision, Kojima.
Cheers, Vamp.
Maybe you shouldn't have put her in the fucking game to start with.
Apparently, it's one of his biggest regrets was Emma Emmerich.
Why is she on a fucking oil refinery?
It's because of her. The whole game actually starts because she sends the anonymous email.
Yeah. Why, idiot? Oh, fucking hell. Next one I've got is this one sounded weird, so I'll explain it. But it's basically because it enables the story to happen. Arnold Rimmer.
Yep.
In that first episode, before he dies, he's an absolute tool bag. He's a tool bag throughout the entire run of Red Dwarf. But the fact that he dies enables the series to happen, and you get one of the best double acts in British comedy.
So you've got to love it.
You've got to love it. But it's also just really satisfying that he gets killed. Because he's
he's one of them people that if you knew in real life, you'd be like, oh. If you turned up at a pub and you were sat with your mates, you'd be like, oh, we're just about to go, Rimmer. Sorry, pal. We're leaving. We're all going. You just wouldn't want to hang out with him.
Yeah. This one's a more recent one, spoilery. Biggie, have you finished God of War Ragnarok yet?
No.
Close your ears.
Well, take your headphones off.
Yeah.
We won't hear you anyway.
I know you're going to mention
Heimdall. Oh, yes. Satisfying kill.
Yeah.
Great kill. Deserved it.
Absolutely deserved it. But it was one of those ones, I think, unlike a lot of the kind of kills in God of War, it lingered on it as well because you got to see the glue come out of his eyes and it was just, he was a fucking horrible little arse bag and he deserved everything he got.
Fucking loved killing him. Absolutely loved it.
Stop giving white people cornrows.
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
That's what makes him even worse.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, God. Stop it.
I actually do think that was white, like it was Norse fashion.
Yeah, it was Norse fashion.
It was. I'm only joking. I know it was. It was
just braids, wasn't it? It wasn't really cornrows. Yeah. And last up, and this is just me stroking my ego, but I really enjoyed it when I did it. Killing Regis Stanton in my book. I very much enjoyed the ending of my book and killing off
enjoyed it as
really
well.
horrible bad guy. Because I don't know why I'd written him to be as horrible as possible. So when I got to the kill scene, it took a whole fucking chapter, and I made it.
I don't know who you pictured in your head to make that character, but
Jonathan Pryce.
I was fuck off! I was about to say Jonathan Pryce.
Jonathan Pryce is who I pictured.
I think that's exactly who it was. I was like, I can see him now, a younger Jonathan Pryce, a little bit younger.
It was because. I think the previous season of Game of Thrones that been out was the one with Jonathan Pryce in it, and that's
High
kind
Sparrow.
of that's who I based him on.
I could just fucking see it. Oh man.
So yeah, that's my list of sad deaths and fun kills.
Excellent. We'll go on to mine. I'm going to deep dive into Morden in a second, but the first few, Marvin from Pulp Fiction, great death.
Yeah, I got that.
Wow. You killed Marvin. That shocked the absolute living shit out of me because that is like John Travolta's literally just pointing a gun, and everyone knows you don't point a gun, do you? You don't point a gun when you're just chatting because it's going to go off. He just blows Marvin's fucking face off, and it makes one of the greatest chapters in that film.
Yeah, the only problem with that chapter of that film though is fucking Quentin Tarantino insert himself in so he can say the N-word over and over again.
But they does that on everything.
I know. It still doesn't make it all right.
No, it doesn't. I've also got from The Walking Dead, Glenn. Very shocking.
That was a very shocking.
Don't know if any of you guys got that far, but
yeah,
he got popped. He got popped like a zit.
Like a watermelon.
It's in the comic as well.
By a man that is now, well, by the series end, was the main character. Somehow you can be redeemed for like acts of.
Isn't Negan getting a spin-off as well?
Yeah.
With Glenn's wife.
With Maggie.
Hell,
the best mates now, mate.
Stockholm Syndrome, the film. Jesus Christ.
When I mentioned this
do
to
anything
my
to get ahead.
wife, I mentioned this to my wife that I was doing this topic. She says, mention everyone in Grey's Anatomy. I've never watched Grey's Anatomy, but apparently everyone dies in it.
Fucking, honestly, one of the ones in Grey's Anatomy, when it was good, George's death in Grey's Anatomy is fucking horrendous. So,
it's so weird.
So,
I thought it's just about like...
No, not like bad horrendous.
Shagging.
No, so basically,
when it was good.
It was a good... Yeah, so George as... what do they call him? 007. I can't remember what the reason for 007 was. It was some kind of nickname they
James
gave him.
Bond.
No, but it wasn't that. It was like because he's the opposite of James Bond kind of thing.
Oh, right.
So I can't remember the reason why they gave him it anyway. So that George says he's going to go and he was going to go join the army. And so he goes off to join the army. And then all of a sudden no one can find him. And you're like, where has he gone? And it's like, no idea where he's gone. Anyway, during all this time, John Doe comes into the hospital. It's been hit by a bus.
I can guess already that's George.
He's unrecognisable because his face is all just fucked up and it's all like puffy and stuff.
Sloppy.
And they literally can't and like that. And the only way he manages to communicate it is he gets his finger on Meredith's hand.
I am George.
And he's like writes 007 because he can't speak, he can't move, he's fucked. And it's the moment where Meredith realises that it's him, and she just sit like that, like she's trying to figure out. It's like, what are you saying? And he's like trying to, because they don't know who he is. They don't know who this person is.
I'm not watching it.
No idea. And it's a really, really well done and really sad death. And it was just out of nowhere. You had no idea that was George because you just couldn't see him.
Is he still going, Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah, it's bag of shite now.
Just been renewed for a 20th season.
The rumour is that he complained about the way the storyline where his character was going, so he wanted to leave the show, and that's how they wrote him out of it.
It was a bit of stuff to do with one of the other actors. It's because he's gay in real life, being homophobic towards him, and there was a big, massive fallout as well.
Ooh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
more power to him.
And Derek's death
Right.
was absolute fucking bullshit.
Poor Derek, whoever that is. Let me move on to my main
Literally
person I want to talk about.
One of the main characters. I'm sorry, I'm not. This is not what I want to talk about, but it's just reminding me about some of the bullshit deaths on that show.
You've got latent trauma from Grey's Anatomy.
He fell out with the fucking
Other window.
With Shonda Rhimes, the person who writes it, and the way she wrote him out was fucking horrendous. Just shit. It was shit.
yeah.
Like, he was on a massive straight road and got hit by a truck, and I was like, if that truck couldn't have seen him from all the way fucking back there, it was just crap. And
The
then they made him
Grey's
happen.
Anatomy.
Yeah. Was good, turned crap.
Anyway, Gadget alluded to Maud and Solus. If you don't know, I've got a little background for you. So, in the Mass Effect universe had its own version of a plague. It only affected the Krogan population, a race of warrior humanoid frog badasses. Like frogs, they could breed very fast and, if left unchecked, would dominate the galaxy as we know it. The Solarians, which Morden is part of that race, a science-focused humanoid, very typical-looking alien race, aren't they, Gadget?
Yep.
Created a plague, the Genophage, that I mentioned, to systematically neuter female Krogans to up to, is it like 99% accuracy?
It's something like that. I think Morden...
Only one new Krogan is born in like 5 years or something like that. Isn't it?
Yeah, Morden describes it in some of his dialogue that it reduces their reproductive.
It's women.
rate.
It affects women, doesn't it?
It reduces the reproductive rate so that the Krogan won't die out, but they just won't breed prodigiously.
Yes, like they were, and they were just having stillborns and stuff like that. It's horrendous, anyway.
Oh, it's like
ethically-
genocidal.
yeah.
Genophage.
Yeah, Genophage, yeah. And anyway, in Mass Effect 2, Shepard, the player character, meets Mordin Solus, a Solarian scientist that is considered a radical because he believes that the Krogan plague that he helped, the Genophage that he helped create, is immoral and at this point disgusting. But like I say, he worked on it and it's part of its creation. He's not the person that created it, but he worked on it. After meeting Shepard and spending time with Krogans and other alien races and stuff like that, he then has what I call one of the most satisfying 180 character turns in gaming history.
Yeah, he decides he wants to cure the Genophage instead.
He decides he wants to cure it. So he spends the rest of his life working and searching for a cure for a species of aliens that hate him. They hate him. He's doing it completely selfless. And it seems, he, as a character, he seems like cold and calculated to the player. And without hesitation, he's just focused on his new goal, and that's what I like about it. So fast forward to like Mass Effect 3, as Gadget mentioned, Mordin leads the effort, because it's a few years in between, Mordin leads the efforts to cure it, and as part of Mass Effect 3's plot, the other Solarians consider Mordin as a, we did this for a reason, and they're trying to kill him, aren't they? They're trying to stop him. And they're his own fucking people, and to sabotage the effort. So to ensure the cure goes ahead, Mordin, he has to deliver this cure manually, sacrificing his life in the process and admitting that he made a mistake in ever working on a biological weapon in the first place. What's fucking hard about this is you can't change this.
No.
There's nothing you can do unless Mordin dies in the previous game.
Yeah, unless you get him killed earlier on.
Yeah, and then you just miss out one of the best, like, ribbon ties to a fucking story plot.
But you get the same plot line with a different Solarian.
But it's just a random Solarian that you don't know. What I love about this is that to him it's not a sacrifice.
No, it's him doing his duty.
This is now his duty, and to the very end of his like last synapse, Mordin's eyes were like darting everywhere, like, because he was like an information magnet. He just loved information, and even to his dying death, he's still trying to gather more information and stuff like that. And just a character that dedicated his life for the advancement of science and realizing in a kind of, I mean, I've read into this week. It's an analogous to Oppenheimer,
yes,
believe it or not, where he regrets everything he's ever done and tried his best for nuclear proliferation. And that's what Mordin is in this. And I've never had such a strong feeling in a computer game that's like left me bereft of a death, because I fucking love that character. He was one of my main characters as well. And I spent so long on Mass Effect 2, which is, in my opinion, a perfect game, keeping him alive. Because you can have every fucker die in that. I was playing it again this week just to get me some familiar with it. I can't remember who the voice actor is, but my God, he's good. My God, he is good.
Yeah,
he's fast talking. He's like a. It's just. I don't know. It's got more prose in that moment than like W.H. Smith's in Oxford. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous, that one scene. It's so Shakespearean and fucking beautiful. And a lot of computer game deaths don't hit me that much. You know what I mean?
It's the fact that his last line when he leaves Shepard to basically go to his death is, had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. And I think he's arguably the best character in the franchise. He's up there at least anyway. And I don't know, for some reason, when I first played the third game, and everyone's at that point, remember the discourse, everyone's saying that it's a fucking shit ending. I'm like, no one's talking about Mordin. No one's talking about Mordin. And it fucking crushed me. And that's why I wanted to do a little mini deep dive on it, because it just fucking, to this day, like, I think I see pictures of Mordin Solus on like Twitter and people mention it. I'm like, oh God, my brother. You know what I mean? And then it makes me sad that BioWare used to make incredible games.
Oh, did you not like Anthem?
Did anyone?
Rest in peace.
But yeah, Mordin Solus is my big one. Who else have we got to go to?
Me.
Stig and Biggie.
Go, Stig. Stiggy.
Okay. Well, Candy's already alluded on it, but I'm going to talk about, rather than just pull up like just my list of stuff like that, a specific franchise well known for its deaths in various forms, and just how brilliant I thought some of these were. It's Song of Ice and Fire / Game of Thrones. Now, I say it like that because I've read the books and watched the show, so I'm going to explain my feelings as I read them compared to watching them as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, massive spoilers for Game of Thrones, obviously. Then again, I think at this point, if you haven't watched it, then you're never going to watch it, are you? So I watched Game of Thrones seasons 1 and 2 before then starting on the books. But then because obviously 5 books were out, I got ahead of the show.
Yeah.
And the first series of Game of Thrones is all centered around the main character, Ned Stark, played by Sean Bean, probably the biggest actor in the whole series at that point.
Yeah, would have been
for England, James.
Probably had the most deaths as well.
All of the material, like promo material, was around Sean Bean. He's sat on the throne in the promo shots and everything. And the way the series is kind of shaping up at the start, you think
he's even given the throne as Hand of the King, isn't he?
Yeah, you think he's the main character. You think this story is going to follow Ned Stark. Till we get to right near the end of the series,
second to last episode,
when Joffrey suddenly becomes the king and orders him to be killed. And the episode that happens ends with the sword coming down, and it ends, and you don't see anything. And you think, well, it's a fantasy show. If you've not read the books at this point, you just think it's a fantasy
He'll
show.
Teleport away.
Somebody will come in and save him. Someone will shout stop, or like Joffrey will change his mind and just, it'll be one of those just to show you what I can do kind of thing, or something will happen to stop this. Now, the next episode starts with the blood dripping off the sword and his head being shown to the crowd. And it's like, what? Like, they just killed off the main character.
Yep.
They killed off Sean Bean. It's like, that's mental. Like, I didn't see that. Like, it's just like mind blowing that they do that. And then the show kind of passes on to the next in line is Robb Stark, who becomes the new leader of Winterfell and the kind of the king of the north, and he's the one that starts to fight back against the Lannisters in the south and everyone, and raising his armies in the north. And you think, okay, now he's the main character. Now we're going to follow his son. His son's going to get revenge. This is the typical fantasy trope stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think, all right, yeah, so the father's died, the son's taken on the mantle, he leads the armies, he's the one that is going to, overthrow the bad guys. Nah. So we get to the Red Wedding, which is just
few deaths in that.
Honestly, I've never seen anything like this, never read anything like this. I was like, just absolutely masterful. So Robb was meant to be betrothed to one of Walder Frey's daughters. And unfortunately, he let his dick do the talking for him, and he fell in love with someone else and married her instead. And Walder Frey is not a man that you want to cross, and he's told this. He said, no, it'll be fine. Like, we'll work out something. So they're this wedding, and so Walder Frey double crosses him after saying it's all fine, doesn't matter, and it's absolutely horrendous. And it starts out with Robb's pregnant wife being stabbed multiple times in the stomach.
Yeah.
Before he is then filled full of crossbow bolts. And his army is wiped out, and his dire wolf is killed, and then it ends with Catelyn Stark getting her throat cut as well. And it's like, again, I remember watching that, and it ends. There's no song over the credits. Nope. It is just silent. I sat there watching it, just going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And they just saying out loud,
"How do they continue with this?"
I'd just been like, what? Like, well, and at this point, it's like, right, okay, no, this is the point where everyone realized no one is safe. No one is safe in this show. If you have a character that you like, if you think that somebody's going to be the main character, don't get attached.
They did it a few times, didn't they? Like when they made it look like they'd killed Tyrion by slashing him in the face.
Yeah.
And he weren't dead.
So this is the point where I started reading the books. So I'd watched up that.
How far did the books go at that point?
Up to all of them that are out.
Oh, really?
So all of them are out. Yeah, that are currently out. Like, they're still out because he still hasn't written it.
The TV series diverts into their own writing after season 5.
Yeah. So
Oh, really? That long?
Yeah,
That much?
The last 3 seasons are all kind of original writing, not directly based on books.
I've only read the Game of Thrones. I've only read the first one.
So, at this point of the story, we're introduced to the beautiful Oberyn Martell,
Stunning.
who comes to King's Landing. He's an absolute boy, an awesome character, and he hates the Lannisters. He hates the Mountain, and you think, oh, here we go. Right, this guy, this is the guy to take on the Lannisters. This is the guy. And like, what did I just say? Don't get attached. Because this isn't the guy. Because this guy gets his head fucking caved in. And he's own fault.
Even though he more or less won the battle as well, hadn't he? But
He'd won the fight. Yeah. He'd won the fight, and he wanted, because the Mountain had, I think, it raped and killed his sister.
Yep.
And he wins the fight, and he's like taken to he's poisoned the Mountain, and he's basically, all he has to do is just put a sword through his neck. And
well, he did technically kill the Mountain, didn't he? Because the Mountain did die from his injuries.
And he's like, say her name, and he's playing with him and saying it, and the Mountain ends up being able to trip him up, get on top of him, and literally crush his head with his hands because he's obviously so big. I remember reading that paragraph and just being like, my heart was pounding reading that fight, like reading it. Like I was genuinely like lost for breath.
It's mad how some paragraphs can do that too.
Yeah,
like,
and then when it ends like that, I'm like, what? Again, I'm just like, no.
So powerful.
Like, he was great, and you've just killed him off straight away.
It's really well done, the show, because it's only like 5 frames of film that you see the head crush thing, but it's the sound effect and the design and like the reaction of Lady Martell immediately afterwards. It's just like, ooh.
It's awful. It's so bad.
And he could have been. He had main character.
Oh, yeah, main character
potential.
energy.
I mean, I hope the actor goes on to do good things. It would be nice.
I hear he's had some roles recently.
Yeah,
a few character roles.
It's
I
remember I was being one of those smug people who, when you're reading the things on the internet and people are, I really love this character, and I'm just like, maybe you should wait. Just wait.
Oh, did you know
and then
that?
You read the responses after it happens, and everyone's just like, no. I was like, yeah.
That's exactly how I felt with some parts of The Last of Us, because I'd played the game and stuff, and they were like, people saying, oh yeah, I know what's going to happen at the end. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
And then
it's good that
Candy's touched on him already, but Joffrey's death. So I read this. This is one
all the same in the book.
Yeah, he got poisoned in the book, and I read it and I laughed as I was reading it, and I said out loud to no one was in the room with me, and I said out loud, I went, "Have that, you little cunt."
Wasn't it revealed he was killed by, what's the name, the old woman? What's her name?
The
lady.
Queen of Thorns, or what?
Flowers.
She was fucking great there as well. I can't remember her name.
Diana Riggs.
Natalie Dormer.
Diana Riggs.
Diana Riggs, her grandmother.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, Diana Riggs is the actress.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Diana Riggs is the actress.
In fact, actually, her death was very good because it was a very quiet conversation with Jamie Lannister.
Tell Cersei it was me.
Tyrell.
Yeah,
Marjorie Tyrell.
No, Marjorie Tyrell's her granddaughter. Lady Tyrell. Yeah,
Lady Tyrell.
Yeah, tell Cersei it was me.
I
want her to know.
You didn't even know that until the last season, even, did you? That's fucking good. That
Elena Tyrell. That's it.
That's it. Yeah,
Elena.
It was a very well done scene. It was one of those scenes that Game of Thrones, even like when it got shit towards the end, was very good at.
Yeah,
where you had 2 characters just talking around each other.
Yeah.
And you get the politicking stuff, but her character's fucking great, and she got the best death because her death was a fuck you death.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but like those were the big. I mean, obviously, Ramsay Bolton, when he gets killed, it's like you absolutely love to see it.
Absolutely.
And then kind of obviously we know what happened in the show, so there's a lot less. Feels a lot less impactful just because the writing around it wasn't as.
What
as
about
good.
like I tell you, I was shocked. I don't know if it's in the books or anything like that, but when Arya kills the fucking zombie king,
we don't got to that part yet.
That shocked me. That really shocked me because I didn't see that coming a million.
Because it was a stupid idea.
Yeah, because no one did.
Is that
why?
It
was shit. This is what I mean.
I liked it.
Nah, it made no sense.
No, it didn't. But
they spent
most of it didn't.
Without getting into the great tracks of hatred that comes for this. It spent 8 seasons building up the Night King, and then he's killed by Arya in like one standoff.
She's a badass.
I'm not saying she's not a badass. I'm saying it was just a wasted character anyway. But the point is, yes, there were some good deaths in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but yes,
Really
the
good.
whole thing as a whole
Really
in Game of Thrones, in that was from the book's point, it's just there's so many shocks and twists and turns that it's just so well done and it's so memorable. Like there's so many deaths in there that are just really memorable. Like Littlefinger pushing what's his face out of the moon door. Like that was great. And then
his own death.
So like, yeah, I don't want to get into the 8th series because I just think that some of the deaths in that just didn't work and didn't pay off, and I thought were bad.
Because you read the books.
I think the books aren't.
No, what I'm saying, it's a different payoff, isn't it? If they're just making it up.
Yeah, like it's because they don't have the material to go off.
Yeah. So it's just what they think rather than what it should be.
I would have quite liked if around the 4th or 5th season, I can't remember which book it's from, but if they'd done the Lady Stoneheart stuff where Caitlin comes back.
They only couldn't do it because they couldn't do it because of scheduling.
Yeah,
conflicts,
scheduling.
Just dropped it.
She comes back from a throat being slit.
She comes back as
love that world.
She comes back as a revenge zombie, effectively. She can't speak or anything, but she goes on a little bit of a Frey killing spree.
Is that a bit like Benji Stark, where he was like an ice person? Can you remember Benjen Stark?
Yeah.
He was an ice person in the North or something.
The Lord of Light brings her brings her back. And
I always forget these resurrections were a lot of that.
So she sends I'm getting all the names now. Gwendolyn Christie's character,
Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne, yeah, she sends her. She's meant to be killing Jaime. But,
Glad they didn't kill her off.
You just reminded me of one other one that was actually fucking really good. Was the Death of the Walders, where Arya actually uses the skills that she's learned and kills them all, and he eats his kids or something.
Yeah, he eats one of his wives or something, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, but yeah, just as a whole, like the whole thing is just.
I've never
really
seen a show because obviously
and
I've only really watched the show. I've never seen a show where you just genuinely don't know. Do you know what I mean? It was the same when I watched House of the Dragon for the first time. I really liked House of the Dragon, but I just genuinely didn't know where anything was going. And that's what I kind of like about it. It was a bit like The Sopranos, in a way, where you just don't know who's fucking safe. And I love that shit.
I suppose actually, you can even go in with House of the Dragon with the son's death in the last episode.
Yeah. Who the fuck saw that coming? Not me. It's good. It's good shit. It's good shit. Excellent Game of Thrones. Biggie, round us off.
Yeah, it's more the build up, the fight for me, but it's Mr. Han from Enter the Dragon. I like this purely because it's like a boss fight, isn't it? That last fight is like almost a video game come real.
Fight.
But when they finally meet at the end of the movie, and Lee seems to have the upper hand for most of the fight until Han starts to cheat because he's got all these different weapons, his claws and the spear, which he throws at Lee and misses and goes into the door. And then he lures Lee into, which is basically a sex chamber with walled mirrors everywhere. And they have a massive fight in there where Lee is obviously initially confused as where Han is because it's like a hall of mirrors. Then he eventually decides to smash all the mirrors around and then gets the upper hand. But he ends up doing this awesome side kick, which throws Han flying, but he actually lands on the spear that he originally threw earlier in the fight that came through the door. And then at the end of the movie, as Lee walks away, he pushes the doors he goes through, and then Han just continues to spin on the door whilst impaled on the spear, and his reflection is bounced off around the mirrors as well.
Enter the Dragon's such a fucking good film.
It looks so cool. But I always thought that was a pretty cool death. I had a meal from RoboCop, the Toxic Waste guy. Most of the deaths in Terrifier were shocking. I'm not going to detail them. We've already talked about them. They were nasty as hell. Han Solo in Force Awakens really upset me because I was so excited with the way the movie was going and they were getting the characters back. And then the fact that he gets killed off so early on really annoyed me because I think Han Solo is probably one of the better characters from the franchise anyway. And I didn't think he needed to die.
Me.
I think it was a good.
For the reason that they did it, but I was more excited to see him and Chewie back. And
the
I would
biggest
like
shock
to
in
see
that when he shouted,
Ben!
That fucked me up there. I was like, what? What?
that's a proper dad bollocking, isn't it?
There's a lot of theories in there that people say that when he's like, I know what I have to do. I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
He were gonna.
That Han, like the theory was that originally that Han guides him, like the saber to him, because Han Solo's like the only way to redeem yourself is. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me, but just the whole fucking thing. Just if they'd just writ it out, had a plan. It would have been fine.
Force Awakens is a good film, isn't it?
Yeah, because it
starts.
starts.
Just a New Hope too.
It is, but it starts with like a few things, and they could have expanded from that, and they just not having an idea just ruined the whole thing.
It sets up some interesting threads.
Force Awakens.
It sets up some interesting threads that they don't tug on.
No.
Somehow Palpatine has returned.
They fly now.
Somehow.
Don't even get me started on that one.
Somehow.
They're flying now.
Apparently we're getting the how in the Mandalorian at the moment, aren't we? We're getting the how.
Is it?
He returned.
Oh, there's a fucking great interview with John Boyega where he's kicking off, going, "Yeah, they fly now. They were flying in the fucking Clone Wars all the way through it. They would know they flew."
Yeah.
John Boyega hates those films.
Yeah. Somehow.
The one that sets Mad Max off on his pathways, of course, the way his family are taken out, which is absolutely shocking considering it was back in the late 70s, if I'm right.
Yeah, and he's after the planes of silence, isn't he? Because he's gone mad. People forget that Mad Max is actually clinically insane. Hence the name. He is on a revenge trip.
His family killed is really shocking.
It's awful.
A bit of anime for you. Fist of the North Star. I love Jackie's moves in that.
All of them.
Where he absolutely, when he uses his skill, his power, whatever. Yeah.
And then they explode.
It's just incredible. And awesome back in the day. Candy, if you're going to do your Resident Evil one, you might want to take your headphones off for this one.
Which film?
It's the first one. Have you seen it?
I've seen the first one.
Okay, that's fine. So then the wall of lasers.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome death. It's just, you don't really
I can't think of that scene without thinking of the Slipknot song.
Yeah.
It's so good though, because he's dodging them all. And you think, it's wood, and then the lasers just go, no, and just turn into a net, like a.
Yeah.
He does everything though, doesn't he? Like he jumps up on the roof and it cuts his gun harness off, and he's like,
yeah,
and then it goes.
It's the way his body just falls apart as well. It's great.
For a second, he's okay, and then it's like, no, you're not.
It reminds me of that scene of Event Horizon where he walks into the wire mesh.
Yeah.
But it's a bit more cartoony.
I rewatched the first one because I mean, it's out of the bag now because of Biggie. After Kenny Potter, we're doing Candy's trip through Resident Evil films, and I rewatched the first one just to get some notes and stuff. I was a bit harsh on that first one. It's not as bad as I thought.
It's not as bad.
There's some moments in it.
The first two films are all right. After that, they go sharply downhill.
I think the thing with the first one, it's more of a zombie horde film, isn't it, than what a Resident Evil game is?
Yeah.
The fucking third one where it starts going all Mad Max is just fucking over the top.
So yeah, after Kenny Potter, guys, we're doing Candy's Evil, or whatever we're going to call it. I don't know what we're going to call it yet. We're going to do
Resident Candy.
Resident Candy.
I also had Marvin from Pulp Fiction. Already gave a biggie for that anyway. So
can't believe you shot Marvin.
But also in that movie, I like the "Say What Again" guy because I think that's such a iconic scene. Because again, it's just like Jules losing his temper here. He's just like, "Say what again, motherfucker," and all that. And
I
it's
dare
just,
you, a double dare.
Well, ain't no goddamn country I ever heard of.
You know that conversation's not going to end well. It's so good.
Marcellus, Wallace, a bitch.
In Pulp Fiction,
fucking like a bitch.
Pulp Fiction, I was completely shocked with Travolta's death.
Yeah, that comes out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
And it was out of order as well.
Yeah, because it's out of order. I was like, well, at the time when I was younger and I watched that, I went, oh, that makes sense. He must not have been killed, but obviously
he was having a shit.
Yeah.
And he left his Uzi on the side.
Speaking of that, I've also got the prolapse guy from The Sopranos because the way that a lot of characters get taken out in that show, and you've got this one of the leaders is just literally having a really bad day on the toilet and ends up
having a bad day.
Pretty much prolapses and dies on the toilet, and that's where they find him.
Yeah.
Terminator 2 always stuck with me when I forgot the character's name, the one that ends up going to create Cyberdyne systems, Huh?
Miles.
Dyson.
Miles,
Dyson.
yes, thank you. Miles Dyson.
The guy who invented the vacuum cleaner. Miles Dyson.
But yeah, his death always really stuck with me because it just seemed like a really realistic. Yeah, because he's just been shot like multiple times, but he's still hanging in there, and it's just the way that he dies on camera. It's just, I thought, really well done. Always stuck with me for some reason, that one. And the last one I'm going to finish with, which is an obvious one, but it shocked me back then because I didn't expect it, and it was, of course, Aerith's death in Final Fantasy VII. Because you spent this whole story, up to that point, you spent the whole story with her in your party. You've been leveling her up, and
do you know what the fucked up thing about that death is, mate? They literally let you level her up.
Yeah.
That's what the fucked up thing is. They let you spend hours getting her final limit break and stuff like that, only for them to take her away.
And I didn't see that coming. I really did not see that coming. That was the first time I think in gaming that sort of shook me, where I was just like, wow, where did that come from? And it's such a brutal way that she goes as well.
They just fucking killed her, didn't they? They killed her dead.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my list because Candy picked out a few already as well.
She did.
I've thought of another funny one. Sorry to jump on yours, Biggie, but the guy that in Big Trouble in Little China that gets so mad
blows up,
he just kind of explodes. Yeah,
he's great. He's brilliant.
I'll tell you funny deaths of people blowing up. The guy in James Bond who literally gets pops like a balloon.
Gas bullet.
Yeah, that's such a stupid death. It's Austin Powers level stupid, that one.
We'll do
talking of good fucking deaths.
Yeah,
with henchmen in Austin Powers.
We'll do more in the green room of that. I want to know if we've got any feedback.
We do have some feedback, so Biggie, you don't have to shout at them this week. Start off with
they'd be good, haven't they?
Yeah, that F King guy has said Princess Diana.
Princess.
Wow.
I'm vaping then, dickhead.
That is the people's princess, sir.
So his explanation is the media were involved and they cancelled that night's premiere of Seven because of it. Well done, Dean. You've killed Oodles. He also goes on to say the missus says...
No, hang on, stop. They cancelled the finale of Gargoyles because of Princess Diana's death that morning. I never got to know what happened to Goliath and Chums in Disney's Gargoyles. Did you ever watch it?
Yeah, Gargoyles was great. He goes on to say, the missus says, Jaws, any zombie movie where someone is eaten alive, and especially that dude in Jurassic Park who's on the shitter. It's scared her for life as she doesn't want to be eaten alive at any point, especially while not on the shitter.
I don't think any human wants to be eaten alive.
No.
Pretty standard.
Lee Davies has said, I think the death in any movie that has stuck with me the most is the death at the end of The Mist. I won't say any more than that because massive spoiler. Apart from that, it's a really fucked up punch to the gut.
Yeah.
So dark.
Yeah. And Hollywood fought for a different ending, and Darabont was like, no. This is what
the
we're doing.
ending makes that.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want. There's, if you watch, I've got the blue.
Stephen King even prefers that ending, doesn't he? Compared to his book?
Compared to his book. I've got the DVD, the Blu-ray, and they've got all 4 endings that they actually recorded with Thomas Jane. And Darabont said, if we don't do the ending that I've planned for cinema, I am not releasing this film, and I'll take the hit. And Hollywood just had to buckle to it because Darabont had a bit of power back then.
Yeah, not anymore.
A little bit. Not anymore.
Super Natty Cat has said, hold on to yourselves with this one. Grave of the Fireflies. Need I say any more?
Oh, shit.
I haven't seen it yet.
Don't.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it with your daughter.
Yeah, it's not a family. It's a family-friendly film, but it's not a family-friendly film. If it makes sense.
It's one of the only made me fucking cry my eyes out. That
I cried
the entire way through.
I cried.
She also says, also Wilson, the volleyball in Castaway. I was only little when that film came out and I cried so hard.
Wilson didn't die. He didn't die. He just
floated.
Swam off.
Just swam off. Away.
And at the end, he buys a volleyball, doesn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Planty says, Boris the bullet dodger in Snatch refuses to die in spite of being riddled with bullets, hit by a car and stabbed. It's a brilliant bit of writing.
Oh, Boris the Blade's great.
I do like
Why do they call him the bullet dodger?
Because he dodges bullets heavy. I do like that when it's Vinnie Jones with him in the hallway at the back of the pub, and he's like filling them full of bullets.
We're a big fucking Desert Eagle.
Desert Eagle. And he keeps shooting them, and you just get it coming off screen.
Annoyed,
he's like,
doesn't he?
Don't take the piss.
He gets so annoyed.
He then goes on to say, as for ones that made me cry the most, it's got to be the boxing double bill of Apollo Creed in Rocky IV and the titular Champ in The Champ.
Oh, Champ.
Oh my God, yeah.
Don't go, Champ!
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this. Sure, he's a piece of shit, but he was Ricky Schroeder's dad. Yeah. Also, spoiler alert for a 44-year-old film that Biggie saw on day of release at the age of 15 years.
You just got done. You just got done, mate.
Got done by Planty.
Planty, mate.
Done.
Go to your room.
A friend of the show, Rob Jones, has said, the media death that gets me every time is that of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. It's my favourite film, no question, and the way the movie builds the final scene is perfect. We see our heroes repeatedly getting into scrapes and hijinks, but they always get away. And every time they get away, they steal a little piece of my heart, whether it's the if he wins, shoot him line, or I can't swim scene, or Newman's smile, or the sparkle in Redford's eye. We're being seduced by our outlaw heroes. The film takes a turn in Bolivia with shootout with the banditos, and you realise for the first time this is the first time they've killed anyone. Suddenly the stakes are real. Etta, who has joined them but vowed to clean their clothes and stitch their wounds but not watch you die, leaves. You get a feeling of dread start to envelop you. And after that, falling in love with our heroes, and how are they going to get out of this, we're brought to the final scenes. The shootout in the village begins like all the other scrapes you've witnessed, but starts to play a bit different. The banter between them is harder to laugh at. You realise this is the last time we get to enjoy our heroes back and forth. And as they run out of the building into a hail of gunfire, we are relieved as the frame freezes and turns to sepia because the director has brought us to a place where, exactly like Etta, we love them too much to watch them die.
Love that film. I was actually
very good ending to that film as well.
There's a good YouTube series. I'll find it and I'll post it in his Discord where someone hypothetically straps a a pedometer on people. What's it called? Fitbit on famous characters and see how far, like Genghis Khan and Butch Cassidy. And Butch Cassidy are saying something. He clocked something along the lines of like 90,000 miles walking. Do you know what I mean? Something stupid like that. Like he could have gone to fucking like the moon and back or something stupid like that. Amount he walked between North and South America. I think he got all the way down to Argentina at one point.
I think so, yeah.
Fucking mental. But yeah, it's great. It's
a very good film. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Fucking yeah, watch it.
So Xenos says, Oodle said he finished the Heaven's Ward expansion for Final Fantasy XIV. So in the event he hasn't, spoilers for that. And he says, Lord Horchenfant? Horchefant. Pronounce it like it's French, he says.
Yep, Horchefant.
Lord Horchefant Greystone is one of the few allies the player gets during the expansion where they've effectively been exiled after being framed for regicide. Yes, this is a Japanese game. He's been working with you for some time, and you saved him and one of his closest friends from the false accusation and execution on the grounds of heresy during the vanilla story. He risks his reputation as a gentleman and an officer to get you into the one city on the continent where your enemies can't follow you, and his father, Count Edmund, is willing to take you in as a ward of the family on the strength of his recommendation alone. He's the only reason you have any social standing in the theocracy of Ishgard, and becomes a genuinely close friend to the player as you clash with obviously corrupt authorities and work towards protecting the people from their machinations. Towards the end of the expansion, Horchefant, it's getting more difficult every time. Horchefant dies, saving you from being impaled by a lightning javelin that his shield simply isn't strong enough to withstand. This is not a joke. And he says, this is not a joke. His Majesty the King and also the Pope finally reveals himself to be the villain of the piece and has one of his bodyguards ambush you as you try to capture him. Why?
Not to shock you, but Final Fantasy has an evil Pope in it.
Why? Because a knight lives to serve, and there was no greater service he could give than ensuring that you survive to take on King Pope if he succeeds in becoming King God. His last words are begging you not to cry over him because a smile better suits a hero. And you better believe that's the chance to call back to that every time you're trying to motivate someone else from that point on, and he gets me every fucking time. Also, Ash in the first Pokemon film. If you watched that as a kid and didn't cry, you're lying.
Ash dies.
Briefly. He's brought back to life by Pikachu's love.
Aww.
I'm not fucking kidding. That's what happens. All the Pokemon,
just like Fast and the Furious,
start crying, and yeah, it's
powerful, aren't they?
It's like Fast 7 when they bring.
But honestly, what Zenith says,
bring Dom back with the power of family.
With Final Fantasy 14, I wish it had so many little fetch quests so I could actually do the actual, because the story and that, and I've only got to end Evan's World because it was the free stuff because I'm a tight bastard. But God, really good storytelling. Like, you care for these people that send you out on fetch quests. It's weird. It's good, really strong, really powerful.
Yeah,
I don't know about Ash. I didn't know Ash was a resurrection.
Oh yeah, all the Pokemon crying.
Is that a Jesus parallel? That is Ash actually Jesus?
I think Ash might actually be Jesus. He's Pokemon Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got to convert them all.
Oh God.
Last up, Best Boy Angry Kurt says, "Hi, Emmy crew. 2 choices for me, both from video games. The first is one which is just very satisfying, and there's Irene Engel from Wolfenstein 2. So that's the new Colossus. She's a Nazi, which is bad in itself, but she takes being a Nazi to the nth degree by being particularly evil behind words throughout the game, so that when you serve her comeuppance at the end of the game by smashing her face in, oh, it feels so good."
Is that her with a crispy face on the beginning that gets your head chopped off and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very satisfying.
It's got a mental story, Wolfenstein 2.
It's mad, isn't it?
Just can't spoil it, but just he gets his head chopped off, and you're like, "What the hell?" And then you find out that as it falls off the platform, it's grabbed by like a robot or something, and then they go transplant it onto a bot.
In the 70s. Oh, is it the 60s or the 70s? Something like that.
It's the 60s. Absolutely fucking mad, that game.
And then you get like long legs then, don't you, or like super jumps or something, because you do.
You've got a robot body. You've got a plastic robot body.
You can get the Victor Toombs power where you can squeeze through small gaps. That game's mental. I wish the shooting were better in that game. I'd play it more.
It's a really good shooting. I really enjoyed that game. It's fucking mad though. I wish machine games would like release more like that. Just like get. Well,
they're doing Indiana Jones, aren't they?
So where you kill that person and you a sex scene, isn't it, with your pregnant wife just getting covered in blood.
Yeah, it's a mental game, that.
It's then all like the maddest scenes are like then like voiceovered by BJ Blazkowicz and that weird Texan accent that he's got. It sounded like Max Payne. It's fucking mental. The last thing that Kurt says is, on a more somber note, my second choice is Arthur Morgan's death in Red Dead Redemption 2. The reveal of his illness actually got me more emotionally than his death, but his death was so sad even though we knew it was coming.
I think, spoiler alert, John Marston's death's worse and more poignant in the first game.
Yeah, I can see that. But then they kind of retconned that with Undead Nightmare, and that just got weird.
He came back to life!
Settled in, Jack Black.
I loved Arthur Morgan. Such a great character.
I liked him, but as soon as you went to doctors and they said you've got black lung, I'm like, I remember this time period. There was no cure.
No, there was no antibiotics.
He did.
He did.
You saw it coming. But you can give him a good death and a bad death, can't you? In that.
Yeah, it depends how righteous of
how good you've been and stuff.
Yeah,
and then you get to play as John Marston, don't you? Good game, that.
I got the bad ending.
Did you?
Yeah, of course. I'm a cowboy. Stick-ups and...
All right, Kid Rock, calm down.
Lynching people on the with lassoing them and stuff. No witnesses. Someone saw you kill or rob someone, you tracked them down. When they tried to run away and call for help, you tracked them down, you killed them. No witnesses.
You're more a sociopath in games.
Yeah, he is.
Can't do it in real life, so just do it in games.
True. I'm waiting for your stories when Sons of the Forest gets patched and you can really get your teeth into that.
Oh yeah, I already made a bone chair in the like.
It's like Conan, isn't it?
Yeah.
The lamentation of the women.
Anyway, that's all the feedback.
Excellent. Nice haul. As always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk. And please consider becoming a patron to help support our endeavour. Patrons will get access to the green room, and the freeloaders, as always, will have to make do with what they get. Next week, it is finally the eternal backlog. We're doing it. The backlog. We're discussing backlog.
It's gonna be rough.
That death and taxes. We've spent money on things that we haven't touched, so it kind of tracks. We're allowing it. The backlog.
We didn't think this month through.
We just like the sound of it. It's April. It's a new tax year. It's funny.
I'm looking at my Steam library right now. That is a big backlog.
Oh yeah. That and films.
So many humble bundles.
I have like a 700 film watch list.
So let's not reel off all 700 of them. Pick your favourites, guys, that you definitely want to get on top of, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it's going to be good. Again, if you aren't a patron, this is the end of the road. We are finally putting you up to the gallows. You will hang for your crimes of being tight bastards. For everyone else, we'll see you in the green room. This has been a podcast. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Yeah, something that is at the people.
Anyway.
Here's the Willy.
Here's the Willy, that's it. Thanks, I thought
There's
we
a
were
Willy
mad.
one. It's like, here's the church.
Yeah.
Here's the
a
church,
steeple.
Here's the steeple. Open the door and here are the people. Like, or you
The
could do
door,
like,
here's
yeah,
the
one way
Willy.
it's like a little
Here's
Willy.
the Willy.
There was
Got
a
'em.
funny one as well, wasn't there? Like,
Yeah, they were a funny one.
I can't remember that. Oh, it's Grace as well. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
This is all getting cooked for YouTube. You're fucking staging this.
Get your willy out my face.
Put it away.
Oh, that's getting sampled. That's an Easter egg. Absolutely.